Hey yo, welcome back. So let's get into it. The case that had the world watching is back in the spotlight, but with a new twist. We're talking about the YNW MELLY double murder trial. The first trial ended in a hung jury, a mistrial that left everyone wondering what happens next. Well, we've got some updates. The new trial has been pushed all the way to 2027, and in a major move, he's just hired a high-profile celebrity lawyer. This tells you they're not just going back to the same fight, they're bringing a new level of strategy. But before they get back in the courtroom, we're going to go back to the first trial. We're going to be reviewing the evidence and the testimony from the detectives who first collected it, as well as a few others. So basically, we'll be listening to what was presented to the first jury and trying to understand what made it so hard for them to reach a decision. Stay vigilant, stay fresh, and stay blessed, family. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, tap in, share with a friend. Let me know what you think in the comments. Appreciate you, family. Let's go.
Hey, we lit. I be killing that. I be killing that. No count.
What up, though, to the first ones in the building? I see you, the first responders. No one in the building. What up, though? Shay in the building. What up, though? Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. What up, though? Brooklyn in the building. Hey, what up? Been a while. Welcome back. Let's get it.
I cannot.
So, based on that projectile and the blowback, you can make what opinions?
Is something that bleeds profusely when it's pierced. If you've ever fallen on stairs or hit your head, it bleeds like no tomorrow. And because the projectile entered in right below the skull, the blowback ended up coming in the direction of, as I was speaking earlier about the hose, in the direction that it came from. And you will get that with a very close shot. That blowback then proceeded after the shot. It went up, it hit this headliner, and continued and falling into the back seat.
And so I want to go to some of the other photos. There's a yellow jacket that's on the very back of the vehicle. Is it important to know whose DNA and blood was found on that?
What yellow jacket?
Let me come back to that the other photos, so we'll come back to that in a moment. Okay, so in terms of the location of the firearm that fired the shot, and we were just talking about in CSW 6745, does this attempt to accurately recreate the potential location of that firearm?
So the purpose of this photograph is strictly demonstrative, to show where once the projectile enters into the head, you're going to have the blowback, which again will come up, strike the headliner, and then continue. It's actually continuing this way and landing back here behind the driver in this area of the vehicle.
In terms of the driver.
What up, Jody? I see you. Appreciate you joining. Indigo Kepra, what up? I see you. Allie, what up, though? See y'all. Appreciate y'all all joining, family. Let's get to it.
And the t-shirt that he was wearing, do you take into account the location of the victim's DNA on his shirt?
Well, based upon the blowback pattern up here, I would expect to find some blowback here if on a driver, if a driver was there.
Okay, Sergeant, you can answer that question.
Why don't you restate the question?
So you were discussing that how you would find and determine angles and ranges for specific individuals that are presented to you.
Yes.
How would you do that?
So I would obtain a shooting height, a maximum, what we would determine as a maximum shooting height, which would be standing with your arm out at 90 degrees. That height would be obtained from the ground to your arm, to your finger essentially. And then a minimum shooting height, which would be squatting with the same arm out and measurement from here to your finger. And then that would give me a minimum and a maximum range of fire. Once I have a minimum and maximum range of fire, that gets added into more trig to determine a minimum and maximum distance of that
Trakisha in the building. What up, though? I see you. Appreciate you joining, family.
particular shooter.
So with regards to this incident, were you there on scene?
No,
Do you know who fired the shots?
no.
In terms of the shots to the outside of the vehicle, are you aware the individual's already dead when those were fired?
They were already dead, yes.
Objection, Your Honor.
How does that play into your reconstruction?
It comes into play because specifically with Christopher Thomas, because Christopher Thomas was already deceased when these rounds were coming into the back of the vehicle, because Christopher Thomas was what we would call crumbling. He was starting to fall, if you will. And on top of that, I know that he was already deceased because the back of his back, essentially, the rounds that are in his back, have no blood in them, which means that there's no circulation. So the rounds are coming in. Christopher Thomas is crumbling with each round. He's falling with each round, and that's the answer.
Okay. So in terms of, we'll get to the shooting inside the car in a little bit. I want to stick to the outside at this point. When you were looking at the side of the car on the angles of entry and the side-to-side angles that I'm talking about, why is that important in your analysis? I'm going to go back to 4809 to describe those angles.
So these angles are important because it is part of my assignment, which is to determine if this is a drive-by shooting. And my determination was that this is not a drive-by shooting, and it's based upon this picture here, which is a very good picture to describe it. All of these rounds are done, and all but one is done at a stationary position. The shooter is at a stationary position when all but one of these rounds are going in.
But just because it's a drive-by don't mean the car can't stop. He's saying it's at a stationary position, so that means it's not a drive-by, but a car can pull up on the side of you and stop and spray you and then move around and spray again. Like, it's not just it's not a one-size-fit-all type of thing. What up, Lady L? I see you. Appreciate you joining.
One round that has some movement in it, which is round site L here. The shooter is actually moving in that to create the little bit of a keyhole that you see there.
Okay, a lot of information in that answer, so let's break it down a little bit. You mentioned a keyhole, so I'm going to zoom in on site L and explain what is a keyhole.
So a keyhole is a projectile comes out of the barrel and it is actually spinning in a line. It's also falling as it spins. However, once you add movement to the gun at the same time the projectile is coming out, you introduce that movement to the projectile. Once the projectile has altered movement, it will start to tumble. So it's no longer.
So hold on, does that not just contradict what he just said? Didn't he say that it was shot from a stationary position? Stationary position means that it would be a regular, like, bullet hole, like straight ahead. But this is a keyhole. So did I get that wrong, or did he just completely go against what he just said? Because this keyhole means that it was from a movement. It means it wasn't stationary.
We're going in a straight line. It is actually going like head over feet, if you will, as it's entering into its target. And that head over feet gives you this right here, which is essentially the projectile coming in sideways.
And in terms of a drive-by shooting,
I'm sorry, I gotta run that back because it sounded like he just completely contradicted himself. Let me see one more time, family.
describe
It's not
those
that long.
angles.
So these angles are important because it is part of my assignment, which is to determine if this is a drive-by shooting. And my determination
Brown Sugar Babe, what up? I see you. Appreciate you joining, family.
was that this is not a drive-by shooting.
Yeah, see right there. So he said it's not a drive-by shooting because it's stationary.
And it's based upon this picture here, which is a very good picture to describe it. All of these rounds are done, and all but one is done at a stationary position. The shooter is at a stationary position.
Okay, that's what it was. He said all but one. So I guess he's saying all the other ones are not stationary except for the one they showed that wasn't. Okay, that's why I had to run it back and make sure.
When all but one of these rounds are going in, the one round that has some movement in it, which is round site L here, the shooter is actually moving in that to create the little bit of a keyhole that you see there.
Okay, a lot of information in that answer, so let's break it down a little bit. You mentioned a keyhole, so I'm going to zoom in on site L and explain what is a keyhole.
So a keyhole is a projectile comes out of the barrel and it is actually spinning.
However, what would you expect to see?
So if it's a drive-by shooting, all of these rounds should look like this.
Why?
Because movement is being introduced to that projectile.
So to contrast site L with one of the other sites.
Still though, like I said, that only depends. That only counts if they didn't stop. Like a drive-by don't mean that you kept driving. You could have stopped in the middle of the drive-by, but that do make sense a little more. At first I thought he was saying they was all like keyhole like that. I was about to say that's completely contradicting what you just said. But let's keep it rolling. We got some other testimony before we get into some more of the evidence, but let's get into it. This is the mom of the girl that was arrested. Remember, what's her name? Damn, I forgot her name. All right, we're going to keep it going. I forgot her name. Imani? Nah, not Imani. YNW Melly's ex-girlfriend. This is his mom's full testimony. Her mom, I mean, sorry. Y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe, tap in, share with a friend while they getting ready. The Queen Chad My Black is golden in the building. What up, though? I see you. Aaron Adventuring in the building. What up, though? I see y'all. Appreciate you joining, family. Let's get into it. This is the old lawyers, as we mentioned in the beginning, that he has new attorneys now, so we will not be seeing them as part of this case no more. I didn't realize they took this long to start. Here they go.
Let the record reflect the impression of defendants, Devins, as counsel, deceased state attorneys, ladies and gentlemen, jury, our witness, Bishop Holmes remains on the stand. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for the delay. It's my fault. In any event, I think we're ready to proceed now. Ms. Holmes, I just remind you, you're under oath.
Yes,
All right. Thank you. Proceed, counsel.
Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about your deposition.
Yes.
Do you recall, and you've been provided a copy of that deposition?
Yes, I did. My lawyer got provided a copy.
When you, in that deposition, were you asked if your prior
Objection.
statement...
Improper impeachment.
I heard it over. You can ask your question, counsel.
Ms. Holmes, prior to that deposition starting, were you given your prior statement to review?
What you mean?
Were you?
I understand. The deposition that I did on December 22nd? Yes,
Yes.
It was given to my lawyer yesterday, right before,
Oh.
briefly to look at, yes.
Oh. So the deposition you have, that was
It was
provided
given
to
to my
your
lawyer yesterday, yes it was.
Oh. So, do you remember coming into that deposition?
Yes, I do. I was in jail, put me in jail. Yes,
Correct.
I remember.
And so it's clear in terms of you don't want to be here.
You're making me be here. Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Yo, Starfish and Coffee, my bad to interrupt. Yo, I got that video somewhere in my archives, but I've been looking on the internet to find it. I cannot find that full testimony. I cannot find the Bradley testimony, man. That's crazy. If anybody got it, please let me know, because I've been wanting to play that. And all I can find is clips of it. But all right, we're going to keep it rolling.
I have a band on my leg. I'm a nurse. I can't even work properly. Yes.
Yes. You were under house arrest because you failed to comply with the subpoena?
No, you did not serve
Excuse me,
me.
sustain. Listen, how we're going to do this is you ask your questions, counsel, ma'am, listen to her question, answer her question.
Yes, I am.
All right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. So going back to the deposition.
Yes.
On December 14th of 2022.
Yes.
Do you remember coming to my office?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you remember being asked questions at that time?
Yes, I do.
Do you recall being given a copy of your prior statement of December 12th, 2018?
No, I don't remember that. I don't remember anything, but I'm pretty sure. I do.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is permission to approach her on it?
With what, counsel?
Her deposition.
Objection, Your Honor.
I have to give her an opportunity to...
I saw my.
Excuse me, there's no question pending review. All right, you can proceed, counsel.
Okay. So, counsel, I'm showing her page 10, line 10 through 17. Okay, so just read them silently to yourself. So back on December 14th of 2022, were you asked if you need to make any corrections or deletions to the statement of December of 2018?
That's what the deposition said, judicially.
And did you indicate that there was no corrections or deletions in those statements?
I don't remember, but that's what's on the deposition.
Okay. So, December of 2022, you said that this was a correct statement.
Objection.
Sustained.
So, Ms. Holmes, is the December 2018 statement that you gave correct and honest?
Objection. Asked and answered.
Excuse me. You have to let, I understand you're trying to answer the question, Ms. Holmes, but when they raise an objection, you said, let me answer the objection first. all
Yes,
right?
sir.
Objection notice overruled. Question is the statement, repeat your question.
Is this December 2018 statement correct and honest?
I don't remember the December 2018 statement.
In December of 2022,
Yes, ma'am.
did you state that it was an honest and correct statement?
That's what you put in the deposition. I don't remember saying it, so I can't remember verbatim what happened that day. I remember some parts of this deposition, but not all.
Okay, is there anything that you need to refresh your recollection to determine whether or not I'm being truthful and accurate as to what the question was in your answer?
I don't know what to say to that.
Okay.
Is that a question?
I've asked if there's anything that
Please,
was helpful.
one at a time, all right? Just one at, let her finish her answer before you ask the next question.
So, Ms. Holmes, is there anything that would help refresh your recollection?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Would the audio of the statement of December 2018 help you?
Objection.
What's the objection?
It's irrelevant. She testified 3 times.
Excuse me, thank you. Not us to this, go ahead, overrule.
I don't know. I don't.
So, Ms. Holmes, with regards to the events of October 26th of 2018,
Yes, ma'am.
did you travel down here to Bortlen?
Yes, I did.
Who did you come with?
My daughter Mariah.
Okay, where did you go?
We went to
There we go. That's the name I was looking for. Malaya Hamilton. That's her name. The Malaya. I had to catch that. But yeah, this is her mom, Malaya Hamilton.
one of Janelle's friend's house.
And whose house was that?
Frida.
Okay. And now Cortlen has been previously shown to defense counsel and marked as states NNN for identification purposes only. Ms. Holmes, do you recognize the 2 individuals in that photograph?
Yes, I do.
How do you recognize them?
I know Frida from being on Instagram from rapping. He's a rapper.
Okay, any other individual in that photograph?
My daughter's Bortlen.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I apologize, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, Mariah. Same difference. It sounded like she said Malaya. At least I remember that last name. Mariah Hamilton, my bad.
I'm sorry.
I didn't hear your answer. Could you
Which
repeat?
one? Do I recognize?
Thank you.
I do recognize Frida from Instagram for being a rapper, and I recognize Janelle from dating my daughter.
You're on this time state we request to move states NNN in as the next number of exhibit.
Any objection?
Relevance.
Overruled, it'll be admitted.
States NNN, be marked states 62.
I told y'all I'm bad with names. You know, we grew up with nicknames. We didn't use real names. I can remember like KJ or KP, TO, MH.
This is the photo that you can see on your screen that you just identified? Okay. So when you said Frito, is this the individual's house you went to?
Yeah.
Okay. Ms. Holmes, how much money has the defendant's manager given you since the October of 2018?
Objection. Relevance.
Why don't you come sidewalk?
She said, how much money did he give you? Is he giving you the money to testify? Sidebar. Why don't you come sidebar? Y'all hit that like, hit that subscribe, tap in. We gonna keep it rolling. Man, it's a long sidebar. Don't trip, I got something for you, family. How much money did he give you? How much money? My bad. Damn, where's my fault, family. Hold on. I'm just looking for. Oh, here we go. While I skip forward to the end of the sidebar, y'all can check this out.
Welcome to Flesh of the
Ms. Holmes, you have a formerly have a credit union
I
account?
should do launch credit union
Okay. And at Launch Credit Union, you've banked there for a number of years?
many years.
The credit union that you've been at, it's been your account, and I won't put your account number on the record for that reason.
Your Honor, I object to this line of questioning based on the court's ruling.
Objection, no, so rule, proceed.
So your testimony is that you have never been given money whatsoever.
I've never been given money for personal use.
Okay. So the question is, how much money have you been given by the defendants?
For a vacation for all of us, for him, his wife, and me, to pay for it, as far as, he gave me $5,000 for Airbnb, in which I gave him $1,000 to deposit that.
So he did give you money?
Not for personal use.
Okay.
Excuse me, can we clarify who he is,
Objection, Your Honor.
Jameson Francois?
Objection, no, just clarify, counsel.
Sure. So it's clear, who is Jameson Francois?
He's trapped, he's Nelly's manager.
Hold on. Oh, dang, I pushed the wrong mute. Oh, I am off mute. Okay. My bad. I must have had it on anyway, so I'm glad I stopped it. But, so Melly manager may have given her money to testify in their favor, so I'm not disagreeing with that, but he did not give her money to make her testify. The state actually forced her to testify. She don't want to be there. I think they about to get into it right now, but she didn't actually want to testify. They arrested her and locked her up and made her testify.
And you mentioned his wife as well. Who's his wife?
I used to go by AA.
So AA and his wife.
We were all good friends.
Okay. So I'm going to go through now what's been previously shown to defense counsel and marked as states triple M. It's a composite of 17 pages. Did you have an opportunity to review that prior to coming into court today?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And in terms of the individuals and the phone numbers that are on that, do you recognize your own phone number?
No, I do not.
Okay. Going forward through the contents of that particular item, do you recognize a conversation about a snake?
No, I do not. I know they had a snake, but I don't recognize this conversation.
Okay. With regards to the conversation about the snake that you do remember, what do you remember about the snake?
That they had a snake.
What happened to it?
Objection, relevance.
Sustained.
Aaron, may we approach that?
Sure.
Objection.
Sidebar, please.
Always are, that no statements by the attorneys are evidence. So judges, in terms of
Hold on, my fault. Let me rewind this part. Hold on, let me get to the beginning of this part because they playing the sidebar in front of everybody. Her ass trying to explain. This is why she got kicked off the case, pulling this type of stupid. Anyway, let me see if we can find it.
You're asking me. Side, right?
All right, here we go.
And I'm going to continue with the argument here with the attorneys.
Bruh.
So I guess this is the concern I had. You're asking me to declare her a hostile witness. It appears to me she is. You're asking me to declare her a hostile witness. It appears to me she is. I don't know what's your position on it. She's at, that would allow her to ask these leading questions as she suggested at sidebar. The problem with any of the questions, though, I don't want you to be asking specific questions that things that she said previously she doesn't remember, and that you're just going to go ahead and put testimony before the jury. I mean, that's, you know, it's not the attorney's questions that are in evidence. I mean, if she doesn't acknowledge it, or even after asking leading questions, she's basically saying, you know, she doesn't know.
Plus, she was caught hiding Brady evidence, so let's not forget about that. That's really why she was kicked off, because she was caught hiding Brady evidence, which should have been a mistrial with prejudice.
That's the end of it. I mean, you can't go You can't go much further than that. You can't put in evidence. Didn't you, say X, Y, and Z? The police officer, she's not acknowledging she said it. I can't see, how you do that. You can.
So Your Honor, I think I can ask the questions because
What
it goes
question?
in terms of, did you provide this phone number as the number for your daughter? Did you provide this number for the phone number regarding Mr. Dennis? Did you provide this information?
What information?
Whatever the particular statement may be that we're at that point in the questioning. For example, did you provide the phone and say that previously that you talked on FaceTime with the defendant? That you talked to him on the FaceTime on the 772-713-9807 phone number? So judges, in terms of if I'm going to then impeach her with some other outside statement or some other prior consistent statement that she has made at some other proceeding at that point, that's the concern as to her perjuring herself on that. So I think that's why it's important that she be allowed to speak to her attorney on that issue. And in terms of the prior statement on that, I still maintain that she has endorsed its authenticity and accuracy. Your Honor was provided with a copy of that deposition that the state referenced when we were talking about, and she indicated she was honest and truthful in that deposition, and she then endorsed the prior statement. So the prior statement should be allowed in on that, and if there's no concern as to any improper or anything on the jurors, because they will be instructed, as they always are, that no statements by the attorneys are evidence.
Mr. Speaker?
Yes, please. Your Honor, first of all, the state is now conflating issues. What we objected to and alerted the court to because we knew that this debacle was going to take place, I think it is evident that, yes, it appears as though the witness is not a major fan of the state. That's true. The state knew that going in. This is no surprise. These cases use the very language, surprise. In other words, what the state intended to do under a ruse at 803, 90.803 section 5 ruse is put on the witness to impeach that witness for that sole purpose of impeaching the witness, to introduce an out-of-court statement that is inadmissible because the state understood that she recanted. The state, under the pretext, oh, we don't know that she's hostile, we just think her recollection is failing, and we believe under 90.803 subsection 5, we can just read her statement in. Unfortunately for the state, the Supreme Court has made it extremely clear that that witness has to vouch for the accuracy of the statement at the time it was made. And the Supreme Court also said in that context that in the context of an 803.5 exception, the contents of the record substitutes for the witness's testimony. This means that the reliability of the assertions rests upon the veracity of a witness who is present and testifying. The state is calling into question her veracity and calling her pretty much a liar, saying that she's feigning recollection and now attempting to essentially introduce a report of a police statement into evidence by the state testifying, asking the court to let the jury know that all this stuff that we're about to say, upon which we want to rest our case, is don't take it from me because I'm just a lawyer saying it, but then there's no point in saying it because there's no way to get it through this witness. She can't put her on to impeach, which is exactly what she's trying to do. The 8035 is a ruse, and that's not working out, and now she's doubling back to the original, which is let me call her hostile so that I can lead, and instead of eliciting the testimony from her, I'm going to read it out of this report and say, didn't you say that? So what happens is we're going to now be in a situation where she's asking the state to tell the jury, hey, what the lawyers say is not evidence. So it doesn't matter that this witness is going to say, I do not remember that number that you just read to me. That you just let me see. I told you I don't remember it. So I now the state wants to come back to the podium and blurt that number out. She just said she doesn't recall it. So what's the point of saying it other than to introduce it into the record through the state attorney's lips? So rules don't allow her to do what she's trying to do.
Thank you.
So you're in further support of treating a witness as a hostile witness. This has previously been provided to defense, but this is the Instagram production for Miss Felicia Holmes that I'm showing the court now, that she has previously identified as her specific Instagram, and that it is saying the promises that were made to us by YNW for me to quit my job and they would take care of us were all lies. They didn't want us talking with prosecutors, but now they have all disappeared. I quit my job based on what Track and his wife or company said. Now look, we can't go home. We're spending all my money I worked for and they taking trips and enjoying life. If you think I was a beast before, wait until this trial. I'm not holding anything back. I'm doing what I should have done in the beginning. They can call me Miss Snitch Bitch. So Judge, it's very clear from this record that my intention and what the witness has represented to me in all shapes and forms that she was going to be honest and truthful. So to say that it's improper for calling her just for the purposes of impeachment is incorrect. So to continue on in that same Instagram production, and this is in June of 2022, Felicia Holmes is saying, they made me quit. Told me that they would take care of us until trial was over. But guess what? Lies as usual. I was making $9,000 weekly. I didn't need shit from them, but everyone begging and pleading. Now they all ghost. I got something for Track though. He lied to me.
Hey, hold on. She was making $9,000 a week? What she was doing? Well, I guess, she might have been in celebrity business or something, so I guess it could make sense.
And my child for the last time. Again, saying that you're going to air him out to the prosecutor. So Judge, in terms of, so that's in defense of the representation of counsel that is just being called for impeachment. It's also clear that this witness has received multiple benefits from the defendant based on her own statements there, that she has endorsed that was her Instagram on that.
So, counsel, there's a couple things going on here. Number one is you indicated that it was
She was making $9,000 a week as a travel nurse? What? What type of travel nurse agency she was working for? They must be, hey, Chamois Black is golden. They said they getting $9,000 a week for being a travel nurse. What you think?
the testimony was going to be admitted because it was in essence I forget the statute number.
9803 sub 5, it's a past recollection recorded.
Past recollection recorded, and you
Correct.
gave me the polite case,
Yes.
and that indicates that
Yep, Chamois Black is golden said, yeah, it's definitely possible. It's not that hard to do. So my bad, it was up there for me, but all right, do your thing then.
you have to have a proper foundation, but it has to be not only there's a proper foundation, but it has to, the hearsay statement was inadmissible in that case because the witness did not vouch for its accuracy or correctness, which is what we have here. The witness isn't vouching for the correctness or accuracy of the statement. So it doesn't meet that criteria. On the other issue about impeachment, this is not what she said. She said gave me a different answer. What I tried to read before was something from a couple of cases. And again, the synopsis at the end of it, this is, I'm just reading again from the SL, a child case, v. State, 993 Southern 2nd, 1108. It just says the Florida Rules of Evidence provide that prior inconsistent statements are admissible as substantive evidence if the declarant testifies at the trial or hearing subject to cross-examination regarding the statement, and the statement is inconsistent with the declarant's testimony given under oath, subject to the penalty of perjury at a trial, hearing, or other proceeding, or in a deposition. It goes on and says, interpreting this position, the Supreme Court of Florida recognized that a statement given during a police investigation is not a statement given at an other proceeding. So, then if you agree, I don't know where we're going with this, counsel, respectfully. It seems to me under either scenario, that statement doesn't connect. Now, I do have a message from Mr. Bears, B-E-R-E-S. He says he's Ms. Holmes' attorney. He would like to speak with me. I don't know what he wants to talk with me about. Candidly, I'm assuming it's his testimony. But anything he could say right here in open court. I don't have an issue with that.
That's fine, Your Honor. I really question the purpose in advising my client, Ms. Holmes, to consult me for a lawyer. I take that as an implicit threat to Ms. Holmes. We have an agreement that she comes in here today to testify. She's done that. She's honored her agreement. And, she's answered all the questions put to her. She may not be answering the questions to the satisfaction of the state, but she has fulfilled her agreement. And now Ms. Holmes is again placed in fear. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you. All right, let's, anybody need a restroom break or anything? You ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Pardon?
Judge, I think someone on the fence.
I need to.
Sure.
I'd just like for the court to order this witness off the stand. I think the state has demonstrated that the only purpose for which they want that witness there is an improper purpose, and they're compounding the prejudice by having her remain there. I think that unless the state has something that's admissible that they can prop to this court, that witness needs, testimony needs to be concluded.
Thank you. State wish to be heard.
Judge, the state's not. There's additional information and things that's open to being talked about.
Thank you. So this is my thought, counsel. I don't have a problem declaring the witness to be hostile to state and allowing you to ask leading questions. I'm okay with that. I think that's been established. She's wearing an ankle monitor that was put on there by the state, I guess pursuant to this hearing where she was, I think you said she was in Islands?
Yes, sir.
Regardless, so I've allowed that. The problem I don't want to happen, so we're clear, is I don't want you to regurgitate things that are in her statement that she's not, that doesn't comply with either two rules we've been going over. So I don't want you to be saying, well, didn't you say to, the police officer, Mr. Moretti, or whatever, the officer's name is Detective Moretti.
Jury entering.
Y'all remember that love part? Well, didn't you say this? Didn't you text me this? Didn't you text me that? Like how, Sway? How did love even get away with all that? For like 2 hours worth of doing that shit. Tall Glass in the building. What up, though? I see you. Appreciate you joining Tall Glass. What up, though?
Please be seated. Let everyone see and reflect the presence for a jury. This is counsel, ladies and gentlemen, jury, and our witnesses home for me to understand. Apologize for the delay. Counsel, ready to proceed?
Yes, sir.
Please.
Okay, Ms. Holmes, when we left off, we were talking about a pet snake.
Yes,
Do you remember there being a pet snake?
I remember you talking to me about it yesterday.
Okay. And with regards to that snake, you recall it unfortunately passed away.
I'm pretty sure probably, I'm not sure it's not here, I'm pretty sure.
Do you remember the name of that pet snake?
No,
And in terms of the owners of that snake, do you remember who owned it?
I just know it was, I know who the owner was, it was in the house with Mariah lived.
Okay. Where did Mariah live at that time?
She lived in Myanmar.
And do you know the address?
No, I don't.
Who did she live with?
She lived with a boyfriend, but you know.
Okay. Are you telling the ladies and gentlemen of this jury that you don't remember your phone number in
I'm
October
telling you guys,
2018?
I do not remember my phone number. I don't remember.
And are you telling the ladies and gentlemen of this jury that you don't remember your daughter's phone number?
No, I do not remember my daughter's phone number.
And there's nothing that would refresh your memory or recollection whatsoever?
Objection,
That's
asked
what you're
and
saying.
answered.
Overruled.
That was 4 years ago. I've had so much trauma in my life since then.
Of course. So, is it fair to say that you were worried about Melly when you came down here to Fort Lauderdale on October 26, 2018?
Was I worried about him? Yes, I was.
You were worried about him because he had just been involved in a drive-by?
No, because they said his friends had been in the drive-by.
Okay. And you were worried about him because he was hiding in some bushes?
Objection.
I don't remember his bushes.
Okay. What do you remember?
I sustain the objection.
What do you remember?
I just remember him saying for us to come get him.
When you made contact with him later that same day at Frito's house,
Yeah.
is it fair to say he had no blood on him?
No, he didn't have any brother.
And is it fair to say that he left Frito's house and went up to a video shoot that afternoon evening?
Yes, he did.
Did you go to that video shoot?
No, I didn't.
Did Mariah live with Mr. Dennis after the homicide for a period of time?
Yeah, she did.
Did she live in a condo in Miami with him?
Yes, she did.
Okay.
The absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence.
What?
Yo, 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 yo. Big shout out to Allie dropping the 5 gifted memberships. Appreciate you, family. Y'all show Allie some love. Drop some coins in the chat. Drop some what ups in the chat. Appreciate you, family. Y'all show some love to Allie. Appreciate the support, family.
Have you made other statements about the events of October 26th of 2018?
I don't remember making any other statements.
Do you recall an Instagram conversation with the co-defendant Cortlen Henry?
I don't remember it.
Okay, if I may approach, I'll see if this refreshes your recollection as to that conversation. It's 3 pages.
Except for more counsel.
Not yet, Your Honor.
I don't remember it. I don't remember.
You don't have any recollection of that?
I don't remember.
Is that your Instagram, LingQueen258?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and the conversation that you don't recall on that whatsoever?
Yeah, I don't remember it.
Okay. Is your testimony here today that you lied in those statements?
That I lied in my statements.
The allegations that you made to Mr. Henry?
I don't remember making those allegations, so I don't.
Do you remember sending screenshots of those allegations to a detective?
I remember sending a detective something stating that I didn't threaten Bortlen.
No.
Because I remember that.
You remember sending screenshots of conversations?
I remember telling him that I did, because he reached out to me asking me did I threaten to kill Bortlen. And I said, no, I did not threaten Bortlen.
Okay.
I remember that.
Was there any threats made to you by the defendant?
No.
In terms of your daughter, Mariah, where is she?
I don't know.
After this incident, did she live with the family of the defendant?
She's always lived down there. Before this incident, she always lived there.
And your testimony to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury here today that you saw Chanel Demons on October 26th of 2018.
I think I saw him.
That you spoke with him and heard him on the FaceTime conversation.
I did speak to him, yes.
And it's your testimony that he indicated that it was some sort of shooting that occurred.
Yes, I did, yes.
Okay, and it's your testimony that you saw him on that your daughter's cell phone as a video call?
I saw it.
Is it your testimony today that after that you called Jamie King?
Yes, I did call Jamie.
And in terms of the conversation with Jamie King, that occurred immediately after the FaceTime?
Not probably immediately, but sometime after. I'm not quite sure the time. I don't remember the time, what time it was.
Okay. And it's your testimony to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury today that you were dishonest in your first statement?
I don't remember my first statement.
Okay. Is it your testimony to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury that you would lie?
I don't remember my first statement. I have no reason to lie to you.
Yes or no? Did you lie to police?
I did not lie to you. No.
Yes or no? Did you lie to police?
I didn't lie to you. I don't remember my first statement. You're trying to make me say I remember my first statement. I didn't. For me to say no, I didn't lie would mean I remember my first statement. I don't remember it, so I don't remember.
Well, if you need more time to look it over, I have a copy of it.
I looked it over and I still don't remember it.
Okay. Well,
I did it over 100 times. I don't remember.
well, if you'd be so kind as to do it one more time.
Yeah, sure.
You can say that to this jury that this is not truthful.
Yes. Please.
Objection asked and answered 5 times, Judge.
Take objection noted. Move.
I honest to God do not remember any of this on here. Like, I don't remember talking. I don't remember. I had a hard time that year, so it's a lot that I don't remember about that year.
Is it your own practice to lie to law enforcement?
Objection.
Excuse me, can I
I'm
see
just
side
a law enforcement.
quiet, please?
My bad, I thought they was about to play something. They're coming back already.
Is it the transcript that you're saying is not accurate?
Sustained.
I don't know.
Excuse me, sustained objection.
Okay, so going back to the relationship with your daughter and defendant.
Yes.
How long did that last?
3 years. I'm not quite sure how.
Okay. During the course of that relationship, did she have multiple photographs of him?
I'm pretty sure she did.
Videos?
I'm pretty sure she did.
After this incident, on October 26, 2018, at Frida's house, is it your testimony that your daughter went upstairs with Mr. Dennons?
She did. They did go upstairs.
They went upstairs. And do you know about what time you got to Broward County?
I probably got to Broward. Maybe. I can't really remember the time. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. But 1 o'clock was after lunch because we went to right after. So it was after. It was lunchtime. It was 1 o'clock.
Do you remember going to lunch?
Yes.
Do you remember where you went to lunch?
I don't remember which restaurant.
Do you remember who you went with?
My daughter and AA.
And that's James Francois' wife?
Yes.
And do you remember your testimony to the jury that you remember the defendant, how he was dressed without blood on his clothing?
I don't remember what he had, exactly what he had on, but I just remember that there was no blood because I would have been, that would have freaked me out. So I know he didn't have any blood on.
No blood on him. Is it your testimony to this jury in terms of that you went to Frito Bang or Frederick Gibbons' house?
Yes.
No. Is it your testimony to the jury that there were other individuals present at that house?
Yes.
Who was it?
I don't know.
Do you recognize any of the individuals?
No, I don't.
Okay. Your daughter, she was present?
Yes, she did.
And in terms of your appearance here today,
Yes.
you don't want to be here.
Yeah, you might know. You made on here.
I did.
Yes, you
So,
did.
and in terms of you were served with a subpoena
Never
prior,
served. Never served.
and so you were ordered by the court to show up.
You never served me originally. That was a lie.
And in terms of your job,
Yes.
did you quit your job?
I got fired because you put me in jail.
And prior to that,
Yes.
before you were put in jail, did you quit your job?
No.
Okay. So you never quit your job.
I had to leave because you told my lawyer to put a warrant out for me. So I had to leave my job.
Okay, so you left your job?
Yes.
Did the defendant ever offer to pay for you and your daughter?
No, I make my own money.
Have you ever made statements contrary to that?
I don't remember.
If I may approach her?
Your Honor, objection.
You show counsel.
Sure.
The absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence.
What?
She said, nah, y'all lying. I didn't quit my job. I got fired. Fucking with y'all ass. I got fired. Even if I said I did it, ain't what happened.
Sure.
I got fired. Shout out to Allie with the 550.
Are you done with that?
Look, Melly working on new music. New music coming soon. You see him writing the track right now. Look. Well, I guess this was actually 2 years ago. This was, let me see what date this was. This was June 15th, 2023. And he's still in jail, and they still ain't proved nothing. It's 2025. And they telling him the trial ain't gonna be till 2027. Insane.
Hey yo, welcome back. So let's get into it. The case that had the world watching is back in the spotlight. But with the new
absence of
twist,
evidence
we're
is not
talking
the
about the
evidence.
YNW MELLY double murder trial. The first trial ended in a hung jury, a mistrial that left everyone wondering what happens next. Well, we've got some updates. The new trial has been pushed all the way to 2027, and in a major move, he's just hired a high-profile celebrity lawyer. This tells you they're not just going back to the same fight, they're bringing a new level of strategy. But before they get back in the courtroom, we're going to go back to the first trial. We're going to be reviewing the evidence and the testimony from the detectives who first collected it, as well as a few others. So basically, we'll be listening to what was presented to the first jury and trying to understand what made it so hard for them to reach a decision. Stay vigilant, stay fresh, and stay blessed, family. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, tap in, share with a friend. Let me know what you think in the comments. Appreciate you, family. Let's go.
Where you are told the defense, or the defendant rather, would take care of you and pay for your bills. Have you ever made a statement that is different than that?
I never say anything like that.
Can I approach her?
Sure. Just read this.
Never stated. Is it your statement testimony that you never stated the promises that were made to us by YNW for me to quit my job and they would take care of us for all lives? They didn't want us talking with prosecutors, but now they've all disappeared. You've never said that before.
I don't remember saying anything like that.
Objection, Your Honor. Move, Ms. Rhodes.
Thank you. Why don't you go sidewalk?
Ms. Holmes, did you ever say the defendant made you quit your job?
I never really say anything. I know it's never made me quit my job.
Objection.
If I may approach her? I should ask you again. Have you take care of the statement that the defendant made you quit your job, that they would take care of us until the trial was over?
I don't really say anything like that.
Okay. So you're denying making that statement?
I don't really say anything like that.
Oh.
Objection. Your Honor, can I just have a standing objection so we don't keep interrupting?
Any state which we heard on the standing objection?
Whatever defense it
That's
chooses to
fine. Go
proceed.
ahead.
Okay. So, Ms. Holmes, in terms of you made a statement to the effect You were told to quit your job and the defense would take care of us.
Objection.
No.
Excuse me.
The defense? No.
One comes up.
And we have another motion.
Jeez, this is why she is not a prosecutor. Like, what the heck are you even doing? We should not have to go to sidebar every 5 freaking minutes based on your statements. Not even 5 minutes. You just get one question and then you back to sidebar. I think that's about enough.
I made a determination that was an inappropriate, improper question, and the way it was phrased was totally improper, and therefore I sustained the question. Ladies and gentlemen, there was an objection made to the last question. I made a determination that was an inappropriate, improper question, and the way it was phrased was totally improper, and therefore I sustained the objection. I am instructing you that you are to disregard the question. All right? I'm going to ask counsel to rephrase the question. Go ahead.
So it's clear. Ms. Holmes, did the defendant ever make you a promise to quit your job and that they had us?
Objection. Asked and answered.
Thank you. Overruled. Proceed.
I don't remember saying anything like that.
So your testimony is that you've never said that.
I don't remember.
Excuse me, counsel. She answered the question. All right? Let's move on.
So with regards to your statements with Cortlen Henry, do you remember speaking and talking about your daughter with Cortlen Henry?
No, I don't. When was that? I don't remember.
Sure. When was that? Here, I'll give it to you again. This was February 5th of 2021. You sent up here?
Oh, no, I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
Yeah.
Did you talk to Cortlen Henry about your daughter's involvement in this case?
No, not that I can recall.
The gatekeeper.
Ms. Holmes, did your daughter tell you what happened in this case?
Objection.
No.
What's the objection?
Calls for hearsay. It's immaterial.
Not what the statement said, but did you say something about the case? It's overruled. Not what was said. Just, did you have a excuse me. Not what was said. Was there a conversation?
Was there a conversation that your daughter told you what happened in this case? Did your daughter ever
She never told me. She hasn't. I asked my daughter, did she know anything about this case? And she said no.
Have you ever made a statement different than that?
Not that I can recall. No, I don't remember saying anything like that.
May I approach her?
Yes, ma'am.
We object.
Why don't you show it to counsel first?
When we approach.
Yes.
Sorry.
The hell, Bobby? All right, I think that's. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see how much is left for her. All right, it ain't that much more. I was about to cut her off, but we go ahead and finish it up. It's just a little bit more left. Let me just skip past these every 2-second sidebars. She asked one question, then back to sidebar. Asked 2 questions, back to sidebar. What type of investigation is y'all doing here? Where are your police reports? You know what I'm talking about? Where are your police reports?
Where are your police reports?
That would be the right front, the right left. Excuse me, the right left side.
The attorney.
Front.
Okay, all right.
Very reflect the vote of the defendant. His counsel assists the attorneys. The jury's not here. They're adjourned. We all ready to proceed?
Yes.
All right. See if they're here, please.
Miss D56 in the building. What's good, family? I see you. Appreciate you joining.
See if they're ready.
Did your daughter tell you, did you have a conversation with your daughter about what happened on October 26th of 2018?
Yes, I asked her if she knew anything about that.
No. Did she tell you what happened without? No, she did
Just
not.
so she didn't know.
Have you ever made a statement that is different than that?
I don't know.
Your Honor, we'd object to lack of foundation, calls for hearsay, speculation, unless they can establish that that witness was present.
Thank you. The objection noted. That's what I previously ruled on sidebar. Proceed to your approach.
Showing me your messages from Instagram from February 5th of 2021.
Who was that Instagram? Is that the one Instagram you saying was with Bortlen?
Ma'am,
I don't
sorry.
remember. I don't remember that Instagram.
Look at it.
I already looked at it. You want to show it to me?
So is the
I don't remember that. You showed it to me like 3 times already.
So you don't recall making
I don't
a
recall
statement
making a
from
statement. No.
Excuse me, one at a time, please.
Which is it's nothing you can say about that because it's so easy to Photoshop and change the names and just make some shit up. I can make a fake Instagram post right now in front of y'all very easily that it looked like it was real. Like I made a whole video clip about it between Young Thug and Gunna. I had a short about Young Thug and Gunna texting each other. It's very easy to duplicate those and change that as much as you want. You can't prove that I made that post. So no, I don't remember it. Get it out of my face. Fuck on my face.
Let her finish her answer before you ask the next question.
So you don't recall making that statement?
No, I don't.
So you don't recall saying
Objection.
Sustained.
So, Ms. Holmes, in terms you said that your daughter didn't tell you.
Objection. Asked and answered.
Sustained.
So did you ever make a statement that's different than that?
Objection. Asked and answered.
Sustained.
Into the statements that with regards to October 26th of 2018. Is it your testimony to the jury that you remember coming to Fort Lauderdale?
Objection, asked and answered.
Sustained. Listen, I just want one of you to make an objection. So whoever's going to handle those
Yes,
witnesses.
sir.
All right?
I apologize.
Ms. Holmes, is it your testimony you don't remember why you came down?
I told you why I came down.
Okay, why is that?
Objection. Asked and answered.
Sustained.
Ms. Holmes, have you ever let me rephrase. Ms. Holmes, did your daughter ever threaten to cooperate with law enforcement?
Objection.
Sustained.
Ms. Holmes, did you threaten to cooperate with law enforcement?
Objection. Asked and answered.
Different question.
Why don't you come sidebar? I want to see the question, please.
Hell no. All right, that's enough, man. I can't take it no more. Let me see. Hold on. Sidebar. Yeah, that's enough of that. Yeah, we see how. Oh no, it's just an ending. Okay, it's only an ending left. Okay, it's only the ending left. This is the end. This is the end. If not, we moving on anyway after this one.
Make any statements. Ms. Holmes, did you ever make any statements about what happened on October 26th of 2018?
Objection. Asked and answered.
I don't know what statement you're talking about. Rephrase your question to a specific.
Ms. Holmes, did you ever make any statements specific to what was happening in the car on October 26th of 2018 prior to the homicide?
Objection.
Thank you. I still come on sidebar, please.
All right, I'm done. I can't take it no more. We can't take that no more. I'm done with that. Let's get back to the evidence. This is the next one. This one is pretty crazy too, family. Y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe, tap in. Help me get back in the algorithm. Appreciate y'all for being here. Let's move on to the next one.
Well, isn't this a nice surprise?
The absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence.
What?
So 6691 on this. What are you demonstrating in this photo?
This is a demonstrative photo that would show if an individual was seated in the rear passenger seat behind the driver, would be able to obtain a shot into the front seat passenger.
And in terms of the individuals that are in this car, how are they attired?
Monkey shit.
Mr. Williams had
And sorry, let me clarify on that one. The people that are pictured in the photo,
oh yes,
what do they have on to protect the scene?
they're in Tyvek.
Okay. So going on to this next photo, what are you documenting here?
It is a photo from the other side of the vehicle for its demonstrative only.
What number is it?
6693. I'm sorry. 6692, and now moving on to 6693.
And it's just an additional angle. It's all angles from the vehicle.
And in terms of, there's a marker spot there, the red marker on the back of that individual's head in the front seat. What is that showing?
That is the approximate entry point for the defect on Anthony Williams.
And so now going into photo 6697, I'm sorry, 6696. What angle are you showing in this particular?
This is from the rear of the vehicle.
The orange that we see at the bottom right, what are those things?
Those are the trajectory rods.
Going into the next photo, which is for council, 6697.
That's another photo from the rear of the vehicle.
Are you in any way, shape, or form stating this is the gun that was used?
I'm not stating that's the gun that was used at all.
Okay. Going into 6698. Again, what are you documenting here?
That would be a photograph of the same positioning of the gun from behind from the rear of the vehicle.
Okay. Going to photo 6701. What are you showing here?
This is showing the proximity of the back seat passenger behind the driver in relation to the front seat passenger.
Okay. And so I'm going to go forward to some of the ones now with the ruler. When you are putting the tape measure in, what is your purpose of introducing the tape measure in these photos? And we're now here at 6708 and 6709.
To give, for the demonstrative photograph, to give a relation of distance.
Okay. And so in terms of this picture is showing what?
Well, it's not exactly to the end of the barrel of the firearm, and so it's approximately probably about 12 inches from the head to the end of the barrel.
And so showing it from the other side, is that the better angle?
Yes.
Okay, and that is photo 6713. What are you showing in this orientation of the arm?
It showed, the photo is showing that the arm does not have to be fully extended to obtain that shot.
And so going now to this photo, which is 6714, much greater distance. Oh.
Correct. So 6714 shows the firearm in an alternative position, again for demonstrative purposes, to show a distance range, and a firearm can still be fired in that position and in the direction of the front seat passenger.
Okay. So now we're moving on to the rear passenger. Are you using the same demonstrative model for this individual?
Yes.
Okay. So you talked about the blood from Cortlen, or the driver, Cortlen Henry's shirt on the front. Was there also an analysis done of the blood on the back of Cortlen Henry's shirt?
By the crime lab, yes.
Okay. And were you made aware of the results of the DNA of the blood sample on the back?
Objection, hearsay.
Excuse me. Watch your side. Sustain the objection, never mind. This is done. Rephrase your question.
So, Detective Williams, there's testimony before this jury as to the person who contributed the blood to the back of that shirt. How does that information help your analysis in terms of the shooting inside the car?
The information was learned by me after the fact, and
Objection, hearsay.
I'm not how it helped, not what the information was.
Go ahead.
and it helped to solidify my analysis.
Okay. In terms of, based on the information that you have, can you state how the driver was positioned when the shots occurred for the backseat passenger, Mr. Thomas?
The driver, in my opinion, was seated in the front seat when the shots were fired inside the vehicle.
And in terms of how would blood get on the back of the shirt?
Because he's seated in that position.
Okay. So I want to ask, can we put some chairs here to help demonstrate what we're talking about?
Sure.
So you reviewed all of the photos from the initial earmark crime scene?
Yes.
And is there a difference in the height of the front seats and the back seats?
There are.
And so this is not anywhere close to exact. Is that a fair statement with the chairs here?
Correct.
So, can you demonstrate, if you were the driver, how you would be positioned when the individual sitting in the rear passenger side seat is shot? And if you could step down and show how would the blood from him then be on this individual?
So the driver is seated in this position, just seated here, and not moving. The blood from this individual, from the blowback, lands here, and blood from this individual lands on the back, and it's all from just not moving.
Okay. In terms of the back of the seat, is his back pressed against the back of the seat?
Yes.
Okay. And that for the first individual or the second individual?
For both.
Okay. In terms of, and you can resume your seat, we'll come back to this in a moment. So in terms of the distance between the individual in the rear driver's side seat and Mr. Thomas in that, do you know there to be a minimum distance they were separated by?
Can you restate that?
Sure. The individual, whoever was in the rear passenger seat on the driver's side, and then Chris Thomas, who is in the rear passenger seat passenger side. Is there a minimum distance that they are separated by?
There is.
And how do you know that?
So we have a known distance. As I said earlier, we are confined to the inside of this vehicle. So we have a known distance of shoulder width inside the back seat of this vehicle. We know a distance of shoulder width of Mr. Thomas, and then we would be able to deduce the difference between the center console and another passenger.
So in terms of the photos at the Jeep when it first came to the hospital, are you aware of how the back center console was positioned?
Yeah, it was down just like that.
And showing from what's been previously admitted into evidence as states 30, photo DSC_0127. Is that important for your reconstruction?
Correct. So this is the blood that is on the center console is consistent with Mr. Thomas crumbling into the position above or onto the center console of the back seat.
So the next photo in that series, again from States 30, is that one shows DSC0_0133. Is this the plastic bag you spoke about and processed?
Yes.
Going back to your photos, what are you demonstrating in CSW_6716?
So this is a demonstrative photograph to show that you can fire a firearm from that position in the direction of a passenger who would be seated in that seat.
Okay. Now, looking from the other angle, what are you looking at in this photo, which for the record is 6717?
And that is just a forward picture from the front of the vehicle facing towards the back of the vehicle to show that it is still possible to fire a firearm inside the vehicle.
Okay. And then in terms of the measurement, how far away is the firearm?
What up, Shay? I see you. Appreciate you joining, family. Hey, that's a fact. Hold on, no way. I'm trying to get back to that comment. My chat thing been tripping, man. That's why I be having to shrink this down. I don't know. Something going on. Well, never mind. I can't get back to it now. But drop that, repost that disclaimer, no one. I'm trying to highlight it.
From the face at that demonstrative photo, which is 6719.
In this particular demonstrative, it's approximately 6 inches.
Can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury if Mr. Thomas was sitting straight up and didn't move to the side to get away from a gun?
At one point, I believe that he did.
And how do you know that?
Because Mr. Thomas has what's called a defensive wound on his right hand, and that defensive wound was caused by a projectile. So I believe that at some point he turned and put his hands up or attempted to de-escalate what was going on and received the firearm projectile through his thumb.
Okay, and so you're pointing to your right hand. In terms of the injuries to Mr. Thomas, do you recall which hand they are on?
I would have to look at the photograph.
Okay, and we can come back to that in a moment on that. So the, and Ms. Smith is so kind to get the NE photos. The defensive wound. Why is that important for you as a shooting reconstructionist?
Because it lets me know that Mr. Thomas was not aware of what was going on. He was taken by surprise, and his hands being up. If his hands were down, he would not receive a projectile through his thumb. His hands are in an up position, almost saying, maybe don't shoot, or I relinquish or something, but he receives a defensive wound due to that projectile, and I think at that point he repositioned to be forward facing.
Okay, and so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to approach with the NE photos, which are state 75. I'm showing you what's been previously admitted as state 75. Which hand is pictured as a wound in photo 12 on that exhibit?
It's the left hand.
The absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence.
What?
Okay, let's keep it rolling. We still got a little bit more for you, family. Appreciate y'all being here. Don't forget to hit that like, hit that subscribe. Don't forget to tap in, share with a friend. Shout out to our stream sponsors of the day. You know what I'm talking about? Chan My Black is Golden and Alley. And we continuing on with Jerome Street and TSC because they passed enough to keep it rolling, so we still got them in there. Shout out to Jerome Street and TSC. And today's stream sponsors Alley and Chan My Black is Golden. Let's keep it rolling, family. Appreciate y'all.
Do you document the same like we discussed with the prior?
Yes. So it starts all over again, doing your overalls, then into the mid-range and close-ups.
Next photo.
So it's a close-up of the deceased head.
Does anyone assist you in locating areas or wounds, scars, marks, tattoos?
Yes. So if there's other investigators that are there, or crime scene technicians that are there, as well as other medical staff, or nurses, or any other individuals that are allowed to be in that area, are assisted.
Was there any evidence of medical intervention that was removed from the body?
Not to my knowledge.
On this picture here, what are we looking at?
So another close-up of the deceased face.
What was the purpose of this next photo that we are looking at?
Rock Solid in the building. Y'all go sub up to Rock Solid. Great content. Just dropped a new video last night. Y'all go check it out. Drop your link in the chat. Oh, you can't, huh? Hold on. Let me make you a moderator so you can drop your link.
So it is it's a mid-range of the abdomen area, or the body area, the upper body area, to show the various puncture wounds as well as projectiles that are protruding out of the skin.
So, does the screen there work if you circle on it? It should be a touch screen. Let's see. So that when you're talking about the protruding projectiles in the skin.
Correct. It could be, and so it would require additional examination, but it could be anything as far as projectiles or metal shrapnel that comes from casings or bullets.
And in terms of, you're not trained as a medical examiner to know what's going on underneath the skin.
Correct.
On to the next image. What are you documenting in this photo?
So the lower extremities of the deceased, as well as the feet, with the several, what we can observe as some type of injuries.
And was there a name assigned to this individual?
Yes, it was.
Okay, and what was the last and first name of this individual that you were documenting?
Tama Tack Christopher.
Okay. What are we looking at in this specific photo?
Yes, so another documentation of the upper body of the deceased, as well as various injuries.
Okay. And then this photo?
A close-up an observed injury to the body.
Moving again to the next photo, what area of the body are we looking at here?
This is the chest as well, chest or abdomen area.
And so if you could just circle on the screen or use the pointer to indicate where's the arm versus where's the chest.
So arm and then the chest.
Moving on to the image here, what extremity are we looking at?
So the inner thigh.
And on which leg?
Right.
And again, a close-up of that same wound in the next photo.
Correct.
Going to the photo that we're looking at here, is someone assisting you in moving the body?
Yes, one of the medical staff members.
Okay. And what are you documenting in this photo?
So documenting the rear or the back of the deceased with the observed injuries.
Okay. And Investigator Curry, at the time when you're looking at this individual, have you already seen the Jeep that's outside?
I do not recall.
Okay. So going to next photo, what are we looking at in this one?
So the lower extremities, the rear lower extremities of the deceased.
Here, so I want to make sure it's clear what area have we moved back up to on the body in this photo.
Yes, so the back of the deceased.
Have you done any sort of cleaning or making it easier to see in any way, shape, or form of the body at this point?
No, I have not.
What are we looking at this photo?
So I believe that is the arm, a close-up of the injuries or wounds on the arm.
So I'm just going to go back one. So is that what you call the mid-range shot, and then going forward again, the close-up?
Correct.
Okay. And what are we looking here near the elbow?
Yes, another injury on that same arm.
And then going to this on the thigh. What the last image you talked about on the inner right thigh, where's this defect that we're looking at in comparison to that one?
It's the outer right thigh.
Going to this photo here, what are we looking at here?
So the backside of the deceased.
Okay. And now in this photo?
A close-up of that same backside of the deceased.
And again, this again on the right upper back of the deceased.
Correct.
Jamel,
Yes.
you see him in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Could you point him out for us?
Right there.
This young man right here?
Yes.
You know him by another name?
Melly.
The one and only witness for YNW Melly's defense takes October 25th, 2018. Davis was
Cortlen, Jamel, Seth, and Judy.
Where were you going? Did anyone fall asleep in your car?
Yeah, we about all did except for the driver.
Did there come a time that you were woken up before you got to the house?
Yes.
What happened?
We pulled over, and that's when Melly got in the car with us.
You know where you pulled over?
And I don't really remember.
Were you woken up?
Yeah, but
Why?
it was like, because I was getting pushed over a little bit.
The testimony differs from that of Travion Glass, who testified they were all going back to Melly's house, and when they arrived, the Jeep carrying Melly, Juvie, Sack, and Bortlen was no longer traveling with them.
Were you woken up?
Yeah, but
Why?
it was like, because I was getting pushed over a little bit.
Okay. And are you 100% sure that this young man got into the red Mitsubishi?
Yes.
What happened to the Jeep?
No, I think they just kept going.
Did he have to unlock the door?
Yes.
Do you know who has the keys to Melly's house on October 26th in the early morning hours?
Jamel and Bortlen. They the only one who had keys to the house.
Did you have a key to the house?
No.
Did Williams have a key to the house?
No.
Did Christopher Thomas have a key to the house?
No.
Did Trevon Glass have a key to the house?
No.
Did Jacoby Mills have a key to the house?
No.
And how about Dontavius Williams? Did he have a key?
No.
Okay. So the only two people you know who had a key to the house was this young man.
Yes.
And Cortlen Henry.
Yes.
About alleged witness tampering, he executed a search warrant to seize her phone. Assistant State Attorney Michelle Boudreaux, who was a witness to the incident, testified in a hearing last week that she overheard Moretti ask a deputy to lie about being present during the phone seizure.
Detective Moretti said to Deputy Morrell, "You need to say you were here when I served that search warrant." And it was kind of like an awkward moment. Someone described it just kind of getting punched twice in the head. So there's a search warrant that gets served, and I'm like, what's going on? And then the next thing, he's asking this deputy to lie for him. And again, I'm like this is like, I'm in the twilight, so I'm like, this can't really be happening. Deputy Gorell didn't say anything of any substance. I think he said, "Is there anything I'm needed for anymore?" or something like that. I don't remember if he said anything at all. It was just a very awkward moment.
Do you say anything to Moretti?
No, I don't say anything to Moretti. I leave the room, I'm done with the statement. As far as I'm concerned, I'm done investigating this case.
Why?
Because I don't work with detectives that solicit lies.
Boudreaux said she reported the incident to her direct supervisors and prosecutor Christine Bradley, who testified in the hearing defending Moretti's actions, saying the whole thing was a joke.
Is that true that Detective Moretti said to you that what he said was a joke?
No, what was intended to be conveyed was that Deputy Gorell, his response was flippant in nature. That was the joking aspect of it.
Okay, so if somebody from your office sends out a Brady notice in this case, not authorized by you, correct?
That is correct.
And in that Brady notice that I just showed you, you're saying that there are incorrect statements of fact in it.
That is correct.
And the incorrect statement is that you were not told by Moretti that he was joking.
That is correct. The indication has always been, and if it was inartfully conveyed in some point, the indication has always been that Deputy Gorell responded in a very flippant manner when asked about showing up.
Flippant manner to whom?
To Detective Moretti.
Does he say that in his court report, Gorell?
I don't believe so.
Okay. So the flippant manner came from Moretti, and somehow you communicated that Moretti said it was a joke. Is that what we're putting together?
I did not say that Moretti said that he had made a joke in any way, shape, or form.
So you've never made the statement that Moretti said he was joking?
My statement was, at all times, and if it was ever not clear or misinterpreted by whoever was listening to it, was that Deputy Gorell made the statement that was of a flippant nature.
On August 30th, 2022, Christine Bradley filed a Brady notice which requires prosecutors to disclose material and exculpatory information to the defense. But as Michelle Boudreaux testified, the notice made no mention of her statement.
Yo, shout out to Brown Sugar Babe. Y'all drop her some coins in the chat and some sunflower emojis, either the regular ones or she also has her own custom, so y'all could drop her custom emoji. But if you ain't got it, you could drop some coins in the regular the regular sunflower. Yeah, appreciate you. Y'all show us some love for the support. Much love, family. Let's keep it rolling.
that Detective Moretti instructed the deputy to lie about being present. It wasn't until nearly a year later in September 2023, months after Judge Murphy declared a mistrial in Melly's first trial, Michelle Boudreaux says she noticed no Brady notice was ever filed and brought it to the attention of the state attorney's office.
We believe that we would have testimony that they were instructing Miss Bradley to file the Brady notice, and this goes back as early as basically in October, November, whenever that was, of 2022. The testimony will show that after they did that, pretty much everybody put their head in the sand. They did not check into things. She went through a whole trial. We sat through the trial. Nothing was mentioned about Brady. We find it hard to believe that nobody would have asked her even after the hunt.
Shout out to Candace, got gifted a membership from Brown Sugar Babe. She said thank you for the membership. That's what's up. I like to see when people are here when they get gifted, so much love to that. Shout out to Brown Sugar Babe, appreciate you. And shout out to Candace for being here to receive the membership. So shout out to both of y'all.
Jury. Well, how did you handle that Brady issue?
And according to the defense, after Boudreaux brought it back up, Christine Bradley still did not file the notice. Instead, it was filed by another assistant state attorney, Chris Killeran.
That Miss Bradley refused to sign the Brady notice that was prepared by the supervisors in the office, and she refused to sign it. In fact, it was handed to her by her secretary, and she said, "I'm not signing this." And that's why Mr. Killeran from Public Corruptions had to sign that Brady notice.
Once Melly's defense team contacted Boudreaux, Christine Bradley filed the Brady notice concerning Detective Moretti's statement. Then just 2 days later, filed an amended notice stating the incident was a joke and the deputy was trying to be funny. After learning of all that transpired, the defense...
So she did say it was a joke and he was trying to be funny. That's why her ass got recused up off that case.
Motion to remove the entire Broward County Prosecutor's Office and the State Attorney's Office from the case. The judge ultimately denied that motion to recuse the State Attorney's Office. However, in Judge Murphy's order granting the recusal of Prosecutor Christine Bradley, he wrote, given the conflicting Brady notices and Ms. Bradley's apparent animus towards Michelle Boudreaux, there is sufficient concern that the defendant will suffer actual prejudice if Christine Bradley continues to serve as a prosecutor in the case. Judge Murphy also wrote the court is concerned about whether Christine Bradley departed her role as a zealous advocate for the state and is now personally invested in the credibility.
Yeah, she definitely was, and that's why they had to get her up out of there. Hell no. Shout out to the new members, the new subscribers. I think if at least one of y'all subscribed today, then we hit the 4,500 mark. So we also celebrating. Appreciate y'all. Wait, 35, my bad. I didn't jump ahead. 3,500 mark. So that means we got 3,500 subscribers if just one of y'all subscribed today. So I appreciate y'all for that. Much love, much love. This is also a celebration. Shout out to us for hitting 35.
The absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence.
What?
Appreciate that.
Did you see this young man unlock the door of the house?
Yes.
Who was the last person to get out of the red Mitsubishi to go inside the house?
Trayvon, he was in the car still asleep.
He was in the car asleep when you got to his house?
Yeah.
Davis testified that Melly was with them when they arrived at Melly's house in that red Mitsubishi. Then he was asked about when he found out that Juvie and Sack were dead.
When you heard that, did you see Melly in the house?
Yes.
Did you see Melly how he was dressed in the house?
Yes.
What was he wearing?
Shorts and a t-shirt, I think.
Okay. Upon hearing that Sack and Juvie, and I really should use the correct names, Anthony Williams and Christopher Thomas, were shot. What did you guys do?
We were already dressed and stuff, so we just left with Fredo's house.
Was anybody upset or crying?
Yeah, we all were crying.
Was this young man crying?
Yes.
Are you sure of that?
Positive.
And where'd you go?
Fredo's house.
That would be Fredo Bang?
Yeah.
Do you know Fredo Bang's real name? Frederick Gibbons, by any chance?
Yeah, I think I've seen it.
Did there come a time after you got to the house of Fredo Bang that Cortlen Henry showed up?
Yes.
Did Cortlen Henry tell you what happened?
Yeah, he said it was a drive-by.
When Cortlen Henry arrived at Fredo Bang's house, was Melly there?
Yes.
Did you eventually leave that house?
Yes.
Approximately what time did you leave that house?
I really don't remember.
Where'd you go?
Back to Jamel's house.
Who went with you?
Me, Trayvon, Jacoby, and Fetty.
By the way, when you first learned that Anthony Williams and Christopher Thomas were shot at the house with Melly, did anyone get on the phone?
Yeah.
Did anyone have any problem locating their phone?
Yes.
Who was that?
Jamel.
The defense has suggested throughout the trial that many of Melly's friends used his phone, that it was a community.
Can I get the water or something? I'm so high right now, y'all. I'm about to go to sleep on y'all ass.
Asked Davis about that music video shoot that Melly and Bortlen appeared to be in the day, hours after the murders, where Melly was dancing and Bortlen appeared to be smiling.
When I backed up for a minute, you were telling the jury that you went back to Melly's house.
Mm-hmm.
You got an answer, yes or no? She
Oh, yes.
She can't take down. How'd you get in?
The door was unlocked.
Were you?
All right, they a little bit slow. We might come back to that, but let's get into Danny Polo. We played a little bit of Danny Polo before, but we got some more clips of Danny Polo. Let me see. We should. Let me see. All right, nah. Yeah, we just gonna start right here where we at. I think this is the beginning. Danny Polo, the mass detective. Matter of fact, let me pull. I ain't even got none of my side photos up. Let me pull them photos up. Pull up Danny Polo so y'all can see what he looked like on the stand. And shout out to all y'all for being here. Let's keep it rolling, family. Much love.
I'd have to go through all my certificates and subtract a couple hours here and there. The bulk of it is gang investigations and organized crime investigations, which are one and the same, basically.
Okay. So you're not saying that money laundering is one and the same as gang training? You're saying it's not?
I'm not saying it's.
Okay, but that's included in your $500, right?
Yeah, a couple hours out of that are money laundering, specific money laundering. Maybe if you want me to take a guess.
I don't want you to guess anything.
Okay.
Okay. But you can't tell us, as you said.
I can give you an estimate.
And can you tell us how much of your training was actually gang related?
The majority, the bulk of it.
How much? Time-wise?
The exact hours? Over 400 hours.
Over 400?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So 400 was gang. And you have certifications that indicate that?
Yes, sir.
Did you bring them with you?
No, sir.
And you were telling us that you also have a certification from an association of some sort. What's the name of that association?
The Florida Gang Investigators Association.
Is that a law enforcement exclusive organization?
I think, do you mean, do people other than law enforcement go to those trainings?
No, I mean, can someone other than a law enforcement officer get certified as a Florida gang by the Florida Gang Investigation Association?
Yes, sir.
You know that happened?
Yeah, prosecutors, other attorneys that go to the conferences, victims and victim advocates, they all go to these trainings.
I'm asking.
The absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence.
What?
And real quick, shout out to Brown Sugar Babe with another gifted membership. Shout out to Nim receiving the gifted membership. Appreciate you. Y'all show Brown Sugar Babe some love, dropping some coins and some sunflower emojis. Appreciate the support, family. Y'all show some love to BS Beat. Most def. Let's keep it rolling.
If they can get certified.
Yes, sir.
And you're saying prosecutors can?
Yes.
And police officers can?
Yes.
And you're saying defense attorneys can?
I don't see why not. I'm not sure if they would bar a defense attorney from going to the training. I haven't seen that in their website.
Okay, but you can't tell us that?
No, I can't, sir.
And when you said other attorneys, then you mean civil attorneys?
Yeah, attorneys like the attorneys that represent the victims in certain crimes. I'm not sure what they fall under.
Okay, and you're representing that civil attorneys that represent victims in crimes can get certified by the Florida Gang Investigation Association?
They can take the trainings, yes, sir. And then the trainings result in getting your certificates.
Okay. And how many hours do you need of training to get certified by the Florida Gang Investigation Association?
The exact hours, I'm not sure of, sir. They put on basic courses and they put on intermediate courses, they put on advanced courses. You take them, you get certificates for those, and then they put specialized courses on specific gangs. You do all those as well. So exactly the amount of hours, I don't know exactly the amount of hours, sir.
How many hours did you go train or get instructed with the Florida Gang Investigation Association before you got certified?
Close to 100 hours, maybe more. It's an estimate.
Okay. So it could be less than 100, you're saying?
It's around 100.
Okay. And the other, you said there...
Where Detective Burrito at? Bring her up out the bushes. He might have went to Detective Burrito training. Remember, she was doing training classes. They do all their training in-house, which means like they teach them, and then they just, the people they teach them to, train them, and they just go back and forth.
There was a certification that you have from some academy of some sort?
It's called the National Gang Academy. It's a 8-week-long gang specialist course that's put on by a company called the National Gang Academy, a training company.
And the National Gang Academy Training Company?
It's called the National Gang Academy. It's a training company. They provide training.
Okay, and the National Gang Academy Training Company, who are the people who give instructions? What is their experience?
The person that runs the academy, I'd have to look at his bio. I don't remember exactly what his experience was, but usually the people that run these organizations have 20, 30 plus years teaching in gangs. Like I know the Florida Gang Investigators Association, their president is one of the lead gang detectives in the state of Florida.
Okay, but where I was asking about the academy, you don't know the credentials of the people who give instructions and credential you?
I don't recall, sir. I don't recall the exact credentials this person had.
Okay. And were they gang members?
No.
Okay. So it was some other people who professed to have expertise then conferring certification upon you?
They're putting you through a course. You have to pass tests. You have to, it's not just multiple choice tests. There's written exams. There's videos. There's
The absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence.
What?
And yeah, we back again. Shout out to Allie, saying shout out to FOTG. Appreciate you, family. Y'all show her some love. Drop her some what ups in the chat. Drop her some coins. And shout out to everybody that always disappear. Like, for some reason, whenever we come to this donation portion, like, people get mad. Like, oh no, I don't want to see this. I just want to see the stream. Like, well, for one, this is part of the channel. We have to do this because otherwise YouTube will block us. And for two, shut the fuck up. No, shout out to Ali though, because it's crazy how like people be like, they be mad like that you want to get paid for, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why would you not want the person that's helping you or entertaining you to get paid? Like, I just don't understand that. Like, if you don't want me to get paid, then why are you even watching it? It's crazy. Like, so I appreciate that, and I appreciate the support. Every bit counts, so I appreciate both of y'all, all of y'all. I mean, I saw Brown Sugar Babe pop on the screen, but shout out to all our sponsors: Chanmar Black is Golden, Brown Sugar Babe, Ali, Jerome Street, and TSC. Chanmar Black is Golden. Every bit counts. So if you mad that people want to get paid for YouTube, that's crazy, because everything you watch on TV, people get paid for. Why would you not want us to get paid? That's insane. Appreciate the support though. It ain't required, but it's definitely appreciated. Much love to y'all. Much love, much love.
There's interactive portions of the class where you have to call the instructor and discuss what you've been doing in your game training. So it's an 8-week interactive course.
Okay, 8 weeks you said?
8 weeks, sir.
Okay. And you said that some of the knowledge that you gleaned in order to deem yourself an expert is from gang members that were in custody trying to work off their time?
Some of the interviews are gang members in custody. Some are gang members not in custody.
Okay. Let's start with the gang members that are in custody trying to work off their time.
Not all of them are trying to work off their time.
Okay. Well, the gang members that are in custody?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Some of them are trying to work off their time?
Some.
Okay, let's start with that. Have you ever experienced a situation where you're talking with a gang member or any defendant that's trying to work off his or her time and they're being deceptive with you in order to achieve some ulterior motive, like taking off their time?
If they're being deceptive, I don't want to talk to them.
Well, I know you don't want to,
yeah. But
you judge whether they're being deceptive or not based upon stuff like their facial expressions.
Overall, who's board
when I interview people, I will give them baseline questions that I already have the answers to, things that I might already know about them, intimate details about their lives or people they associate with, other gang members, things about their specific gang. And if they're being deceptive in those questions that I already have the answers to, then my interview is basically over. Or I call them out on the fact that they're lying to me, and then see if they want to change to being honest. And then at that point, maybe we can reestablish a connection. But if they're lying right from the get-go, if I ask them a question about their affiliation or about someone they associate with who's a gang member, and they're lying, I usually don't want to keep talking to them because it doesn't benefit me to be working with someone that's going to lie to me.
I understood. But essentially what you're saying is you're your assessment of their credibility governs whether or not you pursue the interview, right?
Yeah, if I find that they are not lying to me, then I continue my interview, and then I continue to assess whether they're lying.
And if they're lying to you and you think they're not, you're not saying that your assessment of somebody's credibility is bulletproof. You're not saying that.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Now, the ones who are reformed gang members, are they themselves in danger when they just give out knowledge willy-nilly about their past lives?
I mean, based on the rules and bylaws and stuff like that they have written down on some of these major national gangs, you would think that it would be frowned upon. But like I stated, everyone wants to put everything on social media right now, and the founders of these organizations are giving all these intimate details about stuff that they've already been convicted of, they've done time for, because they're probably trying to get views on YouTube, views on Instagram. They're trying to make money, and it's an incentive for them to tell true stories. So they're being interviewed by others in the same gang world, because it's usually, most of these interviews are, they'll put a couple guys that kind of came up in the same time that were founders of the organizations, co-founders, and they'll go back and forth.
Will you agree? I'm sorry, you're done?
Sure, sir.
Will you agree with me it's an incentive? Getting clicks on YouTube and making money that way is an incentive for them to tell stories. It's not necessarily an incentive for them to tell the truth. Because
sure,
nobody will. Okay. And some of your expertise you gained from watching YouTube videos?
No, sir. That just gives me a little insight into their world and into the gang mentality. It's rare when someone, a typical person doesn't brag about committing violence upon someone else on YouTube. And
Daddy, I like when you scrambling and scraping for shit. I like that.
How they had to crack someone's head open or shed blood so they can make it in this gang, right? That's not typical of a person to want to admit. It's incriminating against themselves, and why would anyone do that?
I understand. My question to you was, some of the body of knowledge that you obtain in order to hone and advance your expertise is from YouTube. Is that true or is it not?
Some of the knowledge came from interviews, yeah. Interviews that I watched with people that I found to be telling true stories, because it's been corroborated based off written documents.
So that's a yes?
Sure.
Okay. And you were asked about your hands-on investigations, and I think your answer was suspects or special investigations. You remember that?
Correct.
And you said over 30 suspects you have engaged in investigations since 2022. You never gave us a number of your involvement in special investigations themselves. What's that?
The number 30 was a reference to just, I believe, the amount of blood gang members we've investigated this past year. The reason I separate investigations from suspects is because a lot of these investigations, if it's an investigation into a criminal organization, that's one investigation might involve 20 subjects. So it would be misleading for me to say I only did one investigation when it was really 20 separate investigations that are all linked together into one organization, charged as an organization.
Understood. Now, my question to you, however, was how many special investigations have you engaged in yourself?
Give me a second to think about it. Thank you, sir.
Your money. Get your money.
I don't supposed to be here. I don't recall none of that. All I recall is going back to prison.
2 hours later. Let me fast forward past this. Oh, you can't even see him writing. Hold on, I'm gonna play it so you can see him over here writing. And I'm gonna move this picture. 'That's funny for you to say I'm gonna call him Ninja. You know that because the lawyer, the one that's talking to him right now, the defense attorney, he said somebody told me I should say the word ninja instead of the other word, the N word, in his closing statements. We played that the other day in the closing arguments. I think it was two episodes ago. He said someone told me we should call him Ninja. He's still counting. Look at this dude.
18 gangs and about 30 different investigations.
So there, you 13 or 30?
30.
30.
Yes, sir.
So when you gave us the number of 30 suspects,
that was blood investigations.
Okay, that was blood only.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
In the last year.
So this Florida Gang Investigation Association, can anybody get certification if they don't attend?
But hold on, no, he didn't ask. Hold on. Hold on, I just realized this. Look, so he didn't ask for no type of like reference, like show me my paperwork, show me my police reports. He asked for a pen and pad and wrote it down himself right here live and talk about this how many investigations I had. He didn't say show me my reference, show me a video, show me any documentation, show me any police reports. He said give me a pencil and a paper and I'll tell you how many, and added it up right here in front of you off memory. That's crazy.
The criminal justice only part of the training?
I don't work for FGIA, sir, so I don't know what their rules are for that. I know I'm allowed to take the classes. I know I've seen prosecutors send those classes with me, but they've had prosecutors come to the trainings with me. So I can't answer on behalf of FGIA.
Okay.
I apologize.
Okay. So you were thinking that non-law enforcement can get certified, but the only people that you've seen in there with you are prosecutors and other law enforcement.
Yeah, they're not law enforcement. Like, you mean cops or just people involved in the legal system?
People involved on your side.
This is going to show that anything that I may have said, they exacerbated it.
Side of the legal system.
Okay, that's
overruled.
Yeah, that's different than law enforcement.
Okay. So when you're saying it wasn't only law enforcement and you're talking about attorneys who represent people, victims of crimes.
No, we've had victim advocates at the trainings before.
Or at the trainings giving instruction?
No. Taking courses.
Okay. So it's not limited to certified law enforcement or retired law enforcement or probation, parole, corrections, juvenile justice, intelligence personnel, prosecuting attorneys, judges and crime analysts and intelligence analysts, evidence technicians for a law enforcement agency, or any other person deemed appropriate for membership.
Look, you're reading that from their website. That's perfect. I mean, like I said, I don't work for FGIA, so I don't know where their cutoff is.
Okay.
And I don't have access to their website at the moment.
So in fact, it may be just a law enforcement only organization for certification purposes.
I can't answer that question. I don't know.
Okay.
I believe I've met people there taking courses that are not law enforcement. So I'm speaking from personal experience. I'm not saying whether they're allowed to or not. I just know they've been there.
Okay. And you were saying some of the, do you work undercover?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you were saying some of the undercover members, you know, undercover law enforcement officers who are members of gangs.
In an undercover capacity.
Yeah. Yes. Undercover. Are you?
I am not, sir.
You did. So you would agree that those undercover officers who went that step would probably know more about the intimacies than you would.
I was the case agent on that.
Okay. And
case agent being the person that leads the investigation and tells the undercover what to do and what evidence I need to gather, what evidence is beneficial to prove the gang, and I collect all the evidence, meaning knowledge, instructions from other gang members. So I direct the investigation, they're the undercovers.
Okay.
So when I'm the undercover, someone tells me what to do because it's their investigation.
Okay, but in an undercover capacity, you never went to the step of getting inside a gang so you could be in the room where intimate gang activity was actually being discussed among gang members only.
It's recorded in the room.
Okay, so you're just in the room with them, but you are not a gang member, so they wouldn't be discussing stuff that only gang members discuss if you're not one.
So what I'm trying to explain is that undercover operations are recorded audio video. So the fact that I wasn't present.
Okay, all right, I ain't gonna stop him. He was about to get into it. I was just about to say, what the hell? Yeah, who the hell was talking stuff about you? You don't look like no gang member. Like, oh, that's why he throwing up the gang sign to show he was one. Got the mask covered so he don't know he undercover. Okay, now we get into it.
Doesn't mean I didn't see it.
Okay. So the gang Bibles that you spoke.
Wait a minute, hold on. I'm gonna rewind that. Did he say just because I wasn't in the room doesn't mean I didn't see it? Well, in that case, was it on video? Where's the video?
Explain is that
stuff that only gang members discuss if you're not one.
So what I'm trying to explain is that undercover operations are recorded audio video. So the fact that I wasn't present doesn't mean I didn't see it.
Okay. So the gang Bibles that you spoke of, are those the same gang Bibles that you can download on the internet?
There's some incomplete ones on the internet. I haven't really found any great ones on the internet. But there are some that have been leaked. Some of the information is pretty accurate. Some of them are outdated. It's not the most recent ones. Like in this case, we found an updated one that was revamped in 2016 from the original 1996 version.
And you were saying to us, I think, that the rules.
So hold on, don't just fuck you. Don't just let that slide by. Basically, he just said that none of them are 100%. So how are you using that if none of them is 100%? He said some of them are kind of there, some of them have some of them are not 100%. So what are you using then? Where's the police reports? How are you using this? You just take what you want. Like Viverito, you on same thing as Viverito. Y'all just use what y'all want, whatever y'all can try to make y'all case off of, even if it's bullshit. You don't even care. You just keep on pushing.
Of a gang in one location or locality don't necessarily translate into being the rules of a gang in another.
Outdated.
The same gang Bibles that you can download. Gang Bibles that you spoke of, are those the same gang Bibles that you can download on the internet?
There's some incomplete ones on the internet. I haven't really found any great ones on the internet. But there are some that have been leaked. Some of the information is pretty accurate. Some of them are outdated, and it's not the most recent ones. Like in this case, there was.
Okay, that was the first part he said. Some of it is pretty accurate. So that's not 100%. Pretty accurate is not a high percentage. That means I can take what I want and use what I want and throw away what I don't. What's the actual percentage of what's accurate? Is it 100%, 80%, 75%?
We found an updated one that was revamped in 2016 from the original 1996 version.
And you were saying to us, I think, that the rules of a gang in one location or locality don't necessarily translate into being the rules of a gang in another part of the country or part of the state, right?
Yeah, so basically, like any organization, the farther you get down in the structure of that organization, things are lost in translation. So the head of the snake can only control the tail so much.
So you're saying that the only reason
things are lost in translation. So the head of the snake can only control the tail so much.
So you're saying that the only reason there are different rules in different parts of the country of a gang is because they're lost in communication, or do different localities have different rules?
Both.
Okay, both. And you were saying that part of the information that you gather is by just walking up to somebody that you see and see if they'll talk to you and tell you all their intimate gang stuff?
I've done that before, yes.
And even when they don't speak to you, you said you look at the way they dress and the way they stand?
Sometimes.
What about the way they stand?
So specific to, let's say, the Bloods, they align, some of their symbology is specific to the right side. So they might stand and cross their arms a certain way with the right arm over the left arm. Or they might wear their hat to the right. They might put a bandana on their right, or put a different colored bandana on the left to show disrespect. So those are little nuances that if you know you're talking to someone who is a member of that gang, it could mean something.
Okay.
If I just meet you and you happen to be wearing a red bandana in your right pocket, I know you're not a member of the Blood, sir. So I would not think this guy's a Blood.
I understand that.
You get what I'm saying?
But what I'm saying is, how are you learning? You might be learning whether the person you're speaking to fits the criteria of the gangs that you already have formed. You're not advancing your knowledge about gangs by looking at them and saying and identifying things that you already think apply, right? You understand the distinction I'm making?
No, please rephrase that.
Okay.
Interesting question.
And by the way, before I get to that question, you're saying that for example, Bloods are favor their right, so they might cross their arm right over left, right?
Yes.
When you say might, are you saying that sometimes they cross it left over right?
Monkey shit. Okay. I'm just saying.
So that's not really a rule then, right?
Nothing's written in stone, sir.
Okay.
So that means Bloods typically wear red, right? That's one of their primary colors. They also wear green, which is on the East Coast a blood color. And new recruits within the Bloods are told to wear brown or tan with a white T-shirt. So there's different things. You can't just stick to one aspect and be like, oh man, that guy didn't cross out that B that one time, because you're supposed to cross out your B's.
I understand.
Or your C's, sorry. So just because you didn't do it one time doesn't eliminate what you are.
I understand. I'm just trying to get your testimony straight.
Sure.
You were saying sometimes they might wear their hat to the right.
Correct.
Meaning sometimes they might wear it to the left, and sometimes they might wear it straight, and sometimes they might wear it in the back. Right?
Yes.
So that's another rule, that sometimes they do that.
These aren't rules. These are a rule is something that has to be followed. These are just things that they're known to do.
Okay.
Like wearing the color red. They don't always wear the color red. If they did, it'd be very easy to just find all your Bloods, or at least start looking for them.
And all of the 6 times that you testified as an expert were Were they in 2022 and 2023, or just in 2022?
I testified in federal court a couple months ago on the Zone Mafia family case as an expert. I testified last year sometime, I forgot when, on a United Trade Gangster Bloods case, attempt homicide case. And I've testified in a couple of sentencing hearings between that time and now.
Okay. So whatever the case, would it be fair to say your expertise is just kind of in its embryonic stage, since you weren't certified as an expert as of February of last year? You agree with that?
I think my
Hell no. No one said Malibu's most wanted. Hey, that's the perfect description. We gotta find a clip whenever when he come back up. We're gonna have to make sure we got a clip of Malibu's most wanted. That's a fact.
knowledge of the topic has grown over time. Obviously, that's why I do recurring training. But
And you said that you've attended every conference since 2016, right?
Yes, sir.
And your first conference, what conference was that in 2016?
The Florida Gang Investigators Association.
And how many times? I'm sorry.
The conference.
Okay. And you said every conference since then? Is it biannual, annual, every month? Annual?
Annual, and then they host additional trainings throughout the year. We wouldn't call them conferences. They don't call them conferences. They're just trainings. 2-day trainings, 3-day trainings on specific things, like outlaw motorcycle gangs. I believe was the last one I took.
Okay.
I think a 2-day training.
And you got your certification in 2016 then?
I have to look at my certificate. I think it took. I had taken 2 years before I got the advanced certificate.
Okay. All right. One last thing. You said that
Growing
you
up in the
have
streets
taught,
ain't no job.
like I'm not sure I got that right, but was it like at-risk youth kind of seminars to
Crazy crime.
Just say no kind of thing?
I've spoken to the youth both while I was working on the road before I was in the Strategic Investigations Division, trying to help the youth not join gangs or leave the gangs that they're already in.
That there's hot.
Trying to give them an
He's the
opportunity.
beast from the
That's
Middle
something
East.
that I do on my off time as well, when not for the sheriff's office. I volunteer, and I've taught at a victim advocacy
Hey, yo, fool, we about to have some
conference
hardcore
for
drama go down right about
Office of the
here.
Attorney General. And youth outreach is important to me.
Okay.
Have some hardcore drama go down right about near. Hey, yo, fool, we about to have some hardcore drama go down right about near. Hey, yo, fool, we about to have some hardcore drama go down right about near. That's right. Disarm all. Always has been, always will be.
And thank you for that. We need that. My question to you, however, is when you are speaking, and would you actually call it teaching, or is it speaking?
Let's just grab that on the spot. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all subscribe. Hit that like button. You know what I'm talking about? Just pulled it up right there on the spot. Just made a clip right there in front of y'all. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, it's teaching. They have questions. You're teaching them how to properly document gangs, because if it's done incorrectly, then you're gonna ruin the system. And it happens. We see it where.
I thought you were talking to kids. Are you talking to young youth? You're teaching them how to
I thought you were talking in general when I'm teaching.
Okay.
I'm sorry, sir. No, kids. Yeah, no. When you talk to the youth, you're talking about. It's a prevention thing. It's more of like, don't ruin your life, and explain the risk factors and what not to do, and try to help them understand that there's a life outside of that, because some of these kids come from families and neighborhoods, socioeconomic areas where they don't see a light, so they need to understand that there is a way out.
I agree with you. What I'm asking you is, when you do that, you are doing nothing that any other of these fine officers could do, or I could do.
I think I could relate with them a little better because I understand the gang mentality because I've interviewed so many gang members, so I understand where they're coming from.
Okay. But you have included references to motivational and just stay on the straight path speeches to you as among your teaching experience and your expertise?
Something I do, yeah. And you learn from those kids as well. Something you learn from kids that are involved in gangs.
Okay, thank you. One moment. I have nothing further.
So, Detective Cola, when you're talking about determining whether or not someone is or is not a gang member, you go
drama go down right about
I try to
here.
convince
That's
myself
right.
that they're not. I'm trying to avoid confirmation bias. So someone tells me this guy's a blood or is all off your family or GD or Crip or whatever, I'll start looking for things to tell me that they're not. Because the second I can convince myself that this person's not a gang member, it's probably true that they're not, and that maybe it's just not enough evidence to prove they are. But when I'm going in there looking for evidence against it, and all I can find is evidence to support it, that's when it shifts, and I'm like, okay, this guy has to be a member. And this happens frequently because, like I said, sometimes people document gang members incorrectly because they'll see a tattoo that they think means something, and they'll document that person as a member of XYZ gang, and then I personally know that person is a member of this Bloods gang. So then I have to go and figure out why someone believed this person was a member of this other gang, and then convince myself that that person was wrong and I'm right, or maybe notice that there might be two gang affiliations, like a prison gang and street gang, or a national-based gang and local street gang that they associate with. So multiple alliances.
Okay, and so the thing is that they was from the same gang, allegedly. So what does any of this have to do with any of that? Because they not even like from different gangs, so it's not like no gang war or none of that. So what are you even talking about this for? You gaslighting.
Okay, so you mentioned that there can be multiple alliances. Can you give a definition of what it would mean to be behind the wall?
Behind the wall means in prison.
So are there different gangs that are behind the wall versus outside?
Yeah, there's different gangs in prison, and there's some of those gangs exist on the outside as well. So the United Blood Nation was founded as a prison gang to protect Black Americans against Hispanics in New York and Rikers Island. Little by little, that expanded and it spread to the streets, and then these multiple blood sets that were created in Rikers Island were now on the streets, spreading their ideology.
You used a term that we haven't defined. Can you explain to ladies and gentlemen what is a set?
A set, like a group, a different branch of an organization.
So you mentioned some of the organizational system. Is there a recognized organizational system in place for example, the UBN?
Yes.
And so can you describe a little bit about how that is organized?
So the United Blood Nation was founded by a handful of leaders within Rikers Island. They created the first 3 original sets, 9 Trey Gangster Bloods, 1 8 Trey Gangster Bloods, and G-Shine or Gangster Killer Bloods. Sometimes they go by different names. And there was, I think, a total of like 12, 13 different sets that were created. Each one of those sets, or each one of those gangs that fall under the United Blood Nation have a leader who they call the Godfather Head. Right? So that would be the top person in the organization, the Godfather Head of the GFH. From there, you have Godfathers underneath, and there's a couple more of those, and then they spread into different branches. Then they have there, from the Godfather, you have the highs, and you have the lows. That's the title of the rank. And sometimes they'll give those titles, the high and the low, they'll give it a separate title. So they might give it an associated title, like, it could be anything. Whatever set could call it whatever they want for their group. You have the highs and lows, then you have the fifth floor. The fifth floor is the rank. They call it fifth floor, or 5-star, or you're a 5-star general. Then the fourth floor, third floor, second floor, first floor, you have foot soldiers. And that doesn't mean there's one person per position. There could be hundreds of people in one position, and then a little bit less than the next one, a little bit less than the next one, until you get all the way to the top. Like most organizations, there's only one CEO, there's only one big boss, and then there's assistant managers and associate managers and supervisors, floor supervisors. It's the same thing. You can only run an organization a certain amount, one way.
So in terms of your experience in training and dealing with gangs, is there a financial component to those?
A huge financial component.
Could you describe a little bit more about that?
Other than protection inside the prison system, once they spread out into the streets, one of the main focuses of the gang is to financially support the gang. And to financially support the gang, you have to make money. To make money, you have to sometimes commit crimes. It could be, and they don't have a rule on how to get this money, right? You can, some of the Bibles say, get it how you live, right? So pick a trade, make money. If it's rapping, it's rapping. If it's selling drugs, it's selling drugs. If it's selling guns, it's selling guns. If it's killing, it's killing. If it's doing home invasions, it's doing home invasions. And then that money in most gangs that report back to a prison system, they pay dues. Not all gangs do it, but a lot of them do. They pay dues. These dues are collected at the very bottom. They're transferred over to the person in charge of collecting the money. That person in charge of collecting the money usually has a title. They might have a rank. They also have a title of treasurer. That person is then responsible for holding the money for the gang, so that if someone has legal troubles, they can pay for the attorney fees, or if someone needs that. You might throw in your street, especially if you're in an area that's populated by a lot of different blood sets. That way they know where you're from.
What about in terms of associating with one or more known criminal gang members?
Yeah, so the way I was able to identify these other G-Shy members or Department of Blood members was through contacts that he had on his phone and photographs that he had on his phone, social media, stuff that was publicly posted, stuff that was posted or that was privately inside his phone, not shared.
In terms of what about if they've been observed in the company of one or more known criminal gang members 4 or more times? Were you able to document that in this case?
Yes, there's hundreds of pictures of him with other Bloods.
What about if they are identified as a criminal gang member by physical evidence?
The physical evidence would be the videos of Mr. Demons throwing up hand signs, the videos of Mr. Demons saying the G-Shine oath, their motto, all the social media posts, references he makes in songs about being a Blood. That's all physical evidence.
Okay, so I want to
the
go.
Bible.
So we'll get to that in just a moment. So Detective Polo, are you taking into consideration that this could be a character or an act that's put on for social media?
No, I don't believe this is an act or a character. This is, as I stated, G-Shine is one of the more violent Blood sets. They're the ones that are enforcing when other people are false repping, and that's what they're known for. So if a famous person were to false rep G-Shine, they would quickly get checked. That happened to those two kids, I don't know how old they are, those two guys that were claiming sex, money, murder, the Island Boys. Fun haircut.
Okay.
Yeah, they were claiming to be members of Sex, Money, Murder, which is a set of the Bloods, and they quickly got checked by almost every Blood that could find them on social media. They got threatened, and they then went to
No, he did not just say the Island Boys. Hell no. Of course they got checked. What the hell? The Island Boys. You wild for that one.
Recant and apologize.
Did you find any evidence whatsoever of any recanting or apologizing by Mr. Demmons in the records that you reviewed?
There's no recanting, there's no apologizing, there's no one calling out Mr. Demmons for being a fake blood. All I could find is support for Mr. Demmons for being a blood by other bloods.
Okay, in terms of the specific communications that you went through, were those on a cellular phone and an email extraction? Or
Yes. Yes, it was on both.
Okay, I'm going to start. I'm going to make sure defense has a chance to see what's in the estate. Triple U for identification purposes only. Detective Holmes showing it's been labeled estate triple U for identification purposes only. Do you recognize those documents?
Yes.
How do you recognize those documents?
It's the email chain forwarded to YNW MELLY booking at gmail.com from one Jaquan Burton, same subject that was identified through his cell phone on his text messages.
Objection, Your Honor, to the reference of his cell phone.
Thank you. Welcome, Cyber Secretary.
Why they always gotta come with that white noise every time they go to sidebar? They gotta hit you with the white noise. Make sure you don't hear what they saying. None of that stuff that was happening over there with Love and them. Look like it's about done. They got some other stuff after this, but we just gonna wrap up this section. Then we probably get up out of here. Appreciate y'all being here. Don't forget to hit that like, hit that subscribe, tap in, share with a friend. You already know. Appreciate y'all, family. Look like he talking. Oh, hold on, I got it on mute.
Well, isn't this a nice surprise?
The absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence.
What?
So
One from the number that's identified as Gino. And what message does that say?
me and the Godfather, the GF, talked about you till we come into your show in Orlando.
Okay. Moving on to page 15. In this second message here on page 15, what are we looking at? The 050 means on point. Could you translate that, please?
Gino's, the subject saved as Gino is explaining what the code means so that the recipient doesn't mess up when the Godfather questions him. It says it down below. Just a few things the Godfather might hit you with, I'm making sure you're on point. So it's saying 050 means on point, DL means I got you. Then he proceeds to give other definitions. SL means shine love, greetings and responses are rise and shine, I shine, you shine, rise up and pop, and shine right, I shine, time to gold. So these are all things that were written in that original document we went over.
And that original document, in terms of the date on that, do you recall for the set date?
September something. I think I have it here. September 16th, 2018.
September 16th.
Shout out to Ali with another gifted membership. Appreciate you, family. Y'all show us some love. Drop some what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up. Send some coins in the chat. Appreciate you, family. We almost up out of here. Appreciate the support, most definitely. Congratulations on us for hitting that 3.5K. You know what I'm talking about? Let's get it.
So in some of the responses from the 9807, again, that term perk.
Again, it's just a term used between members of G-Shine. He's just responding, recognizing, just using G-Shine terms.
Okay. Continuing on through the month of September on page 16, in terms of the message here from the 9807. So we can see, what does it say there?
Just checking in. The C is taken out and the B is put in its place.
And can you explain what, or translate the September 21st, 2018, 11:26 p.m. message from Gino?
Just asking if he's all right. If everything's good. He responds, everything's good. Go 5-0.
Can you explain what is a square?
It's reference to
Page 19.
A square is a narcotic slang for typically a kilogram of any type of narcotics, so cocaine, heroin, whatever.
Objection, Your Honor.
Yeah, not if you ask us, because a square is a cigarette. From wherever I heard it, I mean, I guess it could be different depending on where you at, but from what I know, a square is actually a cigarette.
What's the objection?
404B, 403.
Watch your side.
Okay, my fault for the white noise. My fault for the white noise. I was putting the name in. Shout out to Trikisha, dropping the 10 on the Cash App. Appreciate you, family. Y'all show us some love. Drop some Trikishas or some TK. I don't know. Just some TKs in the chat. Some coins. Appreciate you, family. Y'all show us some love. Appreciate the support. Definitely. Let me drop you a bomb for the Cash App. Let me drop you a bomb while they got the white noise in the back. We almost up out of here, though. They coming right now.
In So Detective Polo, in terms of your training and experience in narcotics and gang investigation, what is a square?
Square is in reference to a kilogram of any type of narcotic that is sold in kilograms because it's shaped as a square.
So, square.
My bad.
Experience.
My bad. Y'all couldn't even hear that.
Narcotics and gang investigation.
But he said the square again. Can we see? Can y'all hear me? Okay, yeah, you can. But yeah, he was talking about the square again. But like I said, from my experience, square is a cigarette. So let's keep it going.
What is a square?
Square is in reference to a kilogram of any type of narcotic that is sold in kilograms because it's shaped like a square.
Okay. So I want to talk now on page 21. On September 23rd, 2018, 6:25 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Can you read those two text messages and then help to assist in the understanding of what they mean.
Okay. I'm sorry.
21.
So the guy hit is who he moves through on that. He got the Skittles. The next one too?
Yes, please.
Bro with that square, want to know what you want for a hook and a verse.
Okay, and can you explain what the Skittles in that message?
So that language has evolved, the Skittles, because right now Skittles are something completely different. Back then it was talking about ecstasy pills,
okay.
MDMA pills, those have to be ecstasy.
And in terms of looking in context, the message before that, on September 23rd, 2018, 6:23 p.m., with what is a Z?
A Z is short for a zip. A zip is slang for an ounce. Call it that because you put it in a Ziploc bag.
Okay. So going on to page 22, there's a different phone number that's listed on there. Tell him to call.
Right.
And what phone number is listed there?
954-376-9158.
Okay. The next message, if you could read that one on September 23rd, 2018, 9:58 p.m.
He got it. Yeah, heard his name, image. He's very important. He's going to give you some, baby. He's over the whole South Carolina.
When you talked about earlier about areas of influence, is that what you meant?
Yeah, so especially with the lineups that cross state boundaries, you would need to know where your higher ups are reporting from. Because if you say, I report to Stretch, you're going to say, who's Stretch? Especially if they're not part of your lineup. You say, I report to Stretch at South Carolina, then they can double check you and reach out to their contacts in South Carolina to make sure that Stretch is a real person.
Okay. Continuing on to September 25th, 2018, another message from on page 23 for Defense Counsel.
Thank you.
Is this again referring to the same image name from the previous?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know what the baby is?
Only the brick.
Okay.
Small like baby.
And the response?
Haven't heard from him twin.
Oh. So then moving on further down that page, on 10:08 p.m., what does Gino ask?
The number identified as Gino states, DL, did you get your date for the Savannah State show?
And the DL, what does that mean?
Did you get,
I'm
sorry?
The DL, does that have a specific connotation or meaning?
Yeah, it does. I'm drawing a blank right now, I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's been a long day. We'll come back to it. So with regards to the next line on that, what does that one read?
The absence of evidence is not the evidence.
What?
Hell no. She said, what you know about the DL? He said, I don't know. I don't know what that means. I don't know nothing. Oh, I lost my eye. There we go. He said, I don't know what that means about the DL. Oh, I forgot to mention Trakisha's message said, for the love, for the green heart with the love emoji. Appreciate you. Shout out to Trakisha and all the stream sponsors. Chan My Black is Golden, Brown Sugar Babe, Ali, and Jerome Street and Tia from the last ones. Appreciate all y'all family. Much love.
Yo, the GF Godfather gonna call you, take out the C, all you today, make sure you're on point.
Okay. And the response was?
Everything's good.
And what up, Chloe Albert's Revenge? Good to see you in the building. I hope things get better for you, family. Much love.
So I want to go then again to the digital version to reference this picture here. So Gino the number identified as Gino ending in 4281, sends an image. And this is on page 24 for council. terms of this message, and can you translate as to what it's talking about?
Looks like it's a picture of another phone, taken with a phone, contact name tall, person holding the phone writes, "Did you ever skyline with?"
Good. Okay, let me go back on the record. This is State versus Jamel Demons, 19-1872 CF10A. I've got Ms. Bucklew, Ms. Collins, Mr. Griffiths present for the state. I've got Ms. Liberty, Mr. Abelstein, Mr. Aronson, Mr. Benjamin, present from Mr. Demons, who likewise is present. We're not waiting for Mr. Patanza.
We are not waiting for his presence.
Okay. Okay, so this is just a continuation of yesterday. I did get, and I read, as well as the authority cited therein, the state's motion for rehearing and reconsideration of the defendant's or tenant's motion to compel disclosure of the Apple search warrant related to Attorney David Liberty. I don't know that I actually conducted a formal hearing. I just asked the state to turn over a copy of the search warrant and affidavit. Ms. Collins, let me ask you this. I read your authority. Would you agree that they're entitled to a copy of just the search warrant, not the affidavit, just the search warrant?
At some point, but not at this point necessarily.
Well, can you explain that to me? Because if I signed a search warrant for someone's home, and BSO goes to their home and executes the search warrant, and they're there, they give them a copy of the search warrant.
Correct. But
Upon
in
its
this case,
execution.
it's Apple that the warrant is being executed upon, not the party themselves.
And you think your authority says that she's not even entitled to a copy of the search warrant?
Yeah. No, that's correct, Judge, yes.
That's your position?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Okay. Well, over the state's objection, I'm ordering you to turn over a copy of the search warrant. I'll put that in a written form today, so you can litigate that as you see fit. But I certainly think she's entitled to a copy of the search warrant. Probably that's it at this point. So, defense, I'm happy to hear anything you want to tell me, but based on our discussion yesterday, I think where we're at is I need to give you a date very soon in the future, a date in February, which is what we're looking at. And at that point in time, you're going to have to come back in here and tell me, and I'm going to have a discussion with Mr. Demons. I'm going to start that discussion this morning, so he understands that he's the captain of the ship. This is his decision, but he's going to have to tell me if he wants Ms. Liberty to continue to be his lawyer or not. He's going to have to tell me if he wants all of you to continue to be his lawyers or not, or he's going to have to tell me that he's going to seek other counsel, but I think that needs to happen sooner rather than later.
We concur with that issue. I'm confused, and I apologize to the court. Is the court entertaining this motion for reconsideration and not?
There was no motion or ruling. I think she's entitled to it. I think, listen, Mr. Demons is entitled to heightened due process. The state is seeking the death penalty. It is very clear that one of his lawyers is under investigation right now.
Okay.
He is entitled to have as much information as I have the ability to give him before he has to make a decision. Is there a conflict of interest? Does he want to waive that conflict of interest and continue with that lawyer as part of his representation? Or does he not? Does he want the lawyer to withdraw? And again, the four Supreme Courts have been very clear on this. He's the captain of the ship.
Absolutely.
He makes this decision. So if there was, again, I'll repeat what I said, I think, Mr. Aronson yesterday, if you all had some other authority that says I have some additional power to assist in the fact-finding here, I would hear what the state has to say about it, but I would probably be inclined to do that. But my inherent authority, or citing the U.S. Constitution, although I very strongly believe in the U.S. Constitution, this is a, I'm not involved in this. The underlying facts that are going to make a determination is whether there's a conflict and what Mr. Demons wants to do. This is completely 100% a decision between himself and his lawyers. I don't have anything to do
We're
with it.
not disputing that.
So I don't know what else I can do at this point. You've asked me to press pause on all these motions. I'll press pause. I'm not going to move his trial date. His trial is going forward in September. So if these motions are heard next month, or they're heard in March, or they're heard in August, or they're heard contemporaneously during his trial, which again would not be the most ideal way to do things. If that's what ends up happening, that's what ends up happening. But the one thing I can tell you is not going to happen is someone that has been in custody for 2,160 days, his trial is not going to be delayed under any circumstances. So that being said, what else would you like me to do this morning?
Well, a couple things. Since the state filed a motion for rehearing, there are misstatements in their motion that need to be corrected. Since we received this early this morning and saw it for the first time, we did not file any written plea response. And if I may, just go through the corrections that we saw. It's on number 1, it says the search warrant was issued in December of 2024. It was 23, not 24, a year earlier.
We agree with that. Yeah.
In paragraph number 2, they said that the state disclosed an ongoing investigation to Miss Liberty. That is absolutely untrue. We learned of it through Apple. They confirmed it yesterday for the first time, over a year after the search warrant was executed. Paragraph number 5 indicates that this investigation is separate and apart from the defendant's current case. It conflicts with paragraph 11 that implies that this investigation is related to the tampering case of Mr. Demons. Is it unrelated or is it related? I think the court needs to know that, because if it's related, I believe, and we will file a written response under discovery, he's entitled to that information, anything that leads to relevant and important information. And I'm not asking the court to rule on it at this point, but I want the court to know that if it's related to his present charges under 3.220, we're entitled to that information. They make a statement that regardless of what Mr. Demons wants and is willing to waive the conflict, they believe that Ms. Raven must get off the case, regardless of that. That's their assertion. They have to prove it. And I want to put the court, the state, on notice that they must prove. They can't merely allege that the conflict is so extent that even if this young man wants to waive it, they're going to come in here and say she must get off the case. That's what they say in this plea, in paragraph number 11. That's a question for the court to determine, and they have to present evidence of that fact. We are still under the same impression that we don't have enough information. Pursuant to Your Honor's request, Mr. Aronson and I spoke to Mr. Demons. I call him Melly if the court will allow me.
I'd actually prefer that you use
Mr. Demons?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
Mr. Demons, we discussed the potential of that. And if the court accepts my representation, or the court can inquire from him, he informed us that he doesn't have enough information to make that decision.
You're talking to me about privileged communication.
Well,
I'm going to talk to Mr. Demons at the conclusion of the hearing this morning, everything that I'm allowed to talk to him about. I want to hear about anything that you all talk about.
I was just willing to profit in statement of that fact. And we would, of course, ask the court to deny their motion for rehearing and rule consistently with what you ruled yesterday, that they not only have to produce the search warrant, but the affidavit.
Well, do you want to respond to any of the case law they cited about ongoing investigations? That would relate to the affidavit.
Well, it relates, if it's related to his present charges under Rule 3.220, they must turn it over. So let him come in here and make a representation that it is either unrelated, totally different, or if it's in fact related, he has a right to see that information. And 3.220 is clear on that. Anything that could lead to relevant information must be disclosed. Judge, there is one other matter that we need to go sidebar on.
Okay, well, hold that, pause on that till we then. State, is there anything else that you want to tell me? I asked both sides if you wanted to do that. I thought you both told me that you did want to do that, that you wanted to do the things that you can do.
I want to do everything.
I agree with you.
But
time is short, but
the state is the one that asked for the stay.
Well, state, what do you want me to do?
Judge, we need to speak with the Attorney General's office because we have that stay for a reason with certain things, but we have plenty to do outside of that first. So
Okay,
we have
well, why don't we do the things that we all agree we can do? So the answer to Mr. Anson's question is yes. Without objection from either side, the stay is lifted to the extent that we can litigate any matter that's not currently before the court.
Well, no, we are objecting to that, Judge.
That was already done by Judge Murphy.
Right, that's how you
Judge Murphy already lifted the stay.
He modified it,
right, he
so that
modified
we could
it.
do ongoing discovery
okay.
as to things that were not up on appeal.
Okay. Again, if one side notices something for February 18th and the other side thinks that that is included in the matters that cannot be handled because it's currently at the 4th District Court of Appeals, I'm sure you will file a written response and let me know that. And I guess I'll have to make a decision whether I agree with you or whether I don't. Defense, besides the matter that you want to talk to me about, anything else?
Judge, the only thing I would like to have you possibly...
Look, remember you are free, monkey shit. Right, you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, right? They call this innocent until proven guilty, but he been in jail for 6 years.
...consider is that you had said you were prepared to ask Mr. Deming some questions right now. I'm a little concerned that with the lack of information that exists in this case, for him to even opine on where to go right now, based on what? The paragraph in their motion that says that he has to make a decision now because you told him there's a conflict.
I'm not going to ask him any questions. I'm just going to explain to him the choices that he's made. No different than a defendant deciding to testify or not testify at a trial. I'm not going to ask him any questions. I'm telling him monkey shit. Because at some point he is going to have to tell me what he wants him to do.
And of course we're going to object at this point, and until the time that he's fully informed as to what there is that may be a conflict, he is in no position to answer, to make an opinion as to whether...
I'm not asking his opinion. You're objecting to me talking to your client about his rights?
It depends on what you say, Judge, but I am prefacing what your comments are because I was under the impression that you were going to inquire with him as to whether or not that he finds there's a conflict.
No, I'm not.
Okay, great.
I'm not. Okay, again, so the record is crystal clear on this. I'm following this procedure pursuant to a case called Figueroa, Figueroa hyphen Sanabria, Sanabria versus State. It's a Florida Supreme Court case from 2023. It's found at 366 Southern 3rd, 1035. And this was a death penalty case as well. I'll quote what the Florida Supreme Court quotes. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to have the assistance of counsel for his defense. All competent defendants have the right to control their own destinies. He's entitled to his constitutional right of assistance of counsel, and there's nothing that makes him relinquish this right. So.
Monkey shit.
The absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence.
What?
Well, family, that's about it for today. I just wanted to hop on and do some random chop it up with y'all, you know what I'm talking about, this Sunday evening. Appreciate y'all, everybody who tuned in. Trakisha said that's our system, especially for persons of color. At no one. That's a fact, that's a fact. No one said, does this not go as a slap in the face to the innocent until proven guilty? That's a fact. I mean, the treatment is like he is guilty, but needs to prove his innocence. That's monkey shit. That's a fact. That's a fact. Big facts, big facts. Crazy stuff going on here. Shout out to our stream sponsors of the day. Chanmar Black is Golden, Trakisha, Brown Sugar Babe, Allie, Jerome Street, TSC. Appreciate all y'all. Appreciate the love, family. Shout out to everybody in the chat. What up, Rock Solid? I see you. Appreciate you. Allie in the chat. What up, what up? Have a blessed rest of your Sunday, fam. Hey, appreciate that. Watch the rise. Chloe Irish Revenge, what up, what up? Hope you feel better soon, family. Shout out to everybody who got gifted a membership. What up, Candace? Appreciate you joining, family. Aaron Adventuring, appreciate you. Trakisha, appreciate you joining, family. Brown Sugar Babe, shout out to Brown Sugar Babe, appreciate you. Let's see, who else? Brown Sugar Babe, Nim, Trakisha, no one. Oh, hold on, and it froze. Oh, that's fucked up. My thing. Oh no, here we go. Is it froze? It's frozen. It won't let me see the rest of the names, family. That's cold. Oh, that's what. Wait, hold on. Yeah, it's frozen. My bad. It froze up on me. I don't know what's going on, but shout out to everybody who here. Shout out to everybody in the building. Much love to y'all. I might have to refresh this. Maybe I can see more before we get up out of here. I want to put some respect on y'all name if I can still see it. Nah, it won't let me go up that far. Yeah, it froze up on me. Well, anyway, appreciate everybody who was up in here. Oh, hold on. Here we go. Now it's working. Nope. 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 All right. Peace out, family. Much love. Much love. We will be following more of it. I guess the next date will be I think it said September 9th. The next time we'll be covering some of this, it'll be for his co-defendant. But either way, I appreciate y'all. Lady L, there you go. There go one. Have a good night. Appreciate you, family. Much love, much love. Stay fresh and stay blessed, family. Y'all go sub up to Rock Solid. Sub up to No One. Let's get it. Peace out, family. Much love. Stay fresh and stay blessed. Yes, sir.